Chapter 3640. This was too unbelievable. One had to know that the heavenly thunder sound, 9 sounds sounded at the same time. It was actually very difficult. Even the first level of heaven was difficult to do. But now, someone actually did it. It was really unbelievable. Who was it? Who was it? Everyone was discussing, but the few envoys from Peerless City could clearly see it. They saw that in the first level of heaven, there was a young man in red, punching out 9 levels of heaven. It was this kid. Their faces were full of surprise. To be honest, they thought it was Di-Ling or Ghostly, but they did not expect it to be neither. It was actually Lin Xian, the second level of Heaven Saint. He struck out the heavenly thunder 9 sounds right from the start. The 9 sounds rumbled, and the great Tao Law revolved around Lin Xian, causing Lin Xian to instantly sit down cross-legged and quickly comprehend. Beside him, Shun Jingqiu also quickly attacked, but she only struck out 7 sounds. However, this was already very impressive, so she also quickly sat down to comprehend. After a while, Shun Jingqiu opened her eyes, and the corners of her mouth curled up into a smile. It was indeed useful. She felt that her use of laws had become stronger, and her laws had actually improved. The heavenly thunder 9 sounds was really amazing. She really wanted to try it again. Lin Xian beside her also opened his eyes, and the corners of his mouth curled up. Let's quickly go to the second level of heaven. He also stood up, and at the same time, a piercing light burst out from his eyes. The heavenly thunder 9 sounds were all struck out by him, and his comprehension was even deeper. At the same time, he had a thought in his mind. Just the first level of heaven was already able to comprehend to such an extent. If all 9 levels of heaven were struck, what kind of realm would it be? He might be able to break through in an instant. Thinking of this possibility, he was incomparably excited. One had to know that unless there was some heaven-defying opportunity, it was very difficult to break through. Some people could be stuck in a small realm for thousands of years, and it was possible. Like Yu Chinya's cultivation breakthrough, that was because the Rain Clan had paid a huge price, and it was unlikely to happen a second time. It could be said that those who were able to come, which one of them was not a world-class prodigy, only after experiencing hundreds or thousands of years of fortuitous encounters could they achieve today's results. Lin Xian was much younger than those people. He was not even 100 years old, and there was only a difference of 2 celestial layers. If this news were to spread, it would definitely be heaven-defying. But this time, Lin Xian decided to use the 9 heavens to break through again. At the thought of this, he and Shun Jingqiu quickly made their way to the second heaven. The pressure of the second heaven was much greater than that of the first heaven. However, this was not a problem for the 2 of them. Thus, the 2 of them quickly arrived at the second layer. When the crowd saw this scene, they were incomparably terrified. They did not doubt Shun Jingqiu's strength, but for Lin Xian, it was really inconceivable that he could reach the second layer of heaven. This brat's strength was a little ridiculously strong. Lin Xian ignored the others and said to Shun Jingqiu, "Let's begin. Try your best." As he spoke, he would also move his fists, attacking in all directions. The sound of great Tao sounded again. In an instant, the crowd gasped in amazement. At the same time, on the 5th heaven of the 9 heavens, Di-Ling's expression was cold. He was in the 5th heaven, bombarding everything except the 6 voices of heavenly thunder. Then, he began to comprehend. Currently, he was the highest. The rest, like Guili, had reached the 4th heaven. The others, like Shi Bufan and Shui Tianqing, had also reached the 4th heaven. The others, like Wang Xiaofeng and Yu Qinya, were in the 3rd heaven. They were all trying their best to hit as many heavenly thunder voices as possible. Shi Bufan roared and punched in all directions. At the 4th heaven, he hit out 6 heavenly thunder voices. Then, he began to comprehend. Guili sneered. His body was filled with ghost qi, and he hit out 7 heavenly thunder voices. Shui Tianqing did not make a move, but the stars in his eyes flickered. His gaze pierced through the void, and he actually hit out 7 heavenly thunder voices. On the other side, at the 3rd heaven, Yu Qinya roared and used the Rain Clan's great ability. He actually hit out 8 heavenly thunder voices, which made him wild with joy. That's great. He was really too excited. He was almost able to hit all of the 9 voices of heavenly thunder. Other than him, no one else could do it. However, just as he was about to comprehend, he suddenly heard 9 voices at the same time, shaking heaven and earth. 9 voices of heavenly thunder. Damn it! It's the 9 voices of heavenly thunder again. How is this possible? Yuchinya could not believe it. He had just heard the 9 voices of heavenly thunder, and now he heard it again. Who is it? In an instant, he thought of Di Ling. Damn it. This imperial mausoleum was really too terrifying. But soon, he calmed down. Di Ling was strong, but he was not weak either. He hit out 8 heavenly thunder voices, so he was second only to Di Ling. Thinking of this, he smiled. Even if he could not be the chief disciple, it was not bad to be the second senior brother. So, he sat down cross-legged and started to comprehend quickly. The others were also shocked. For example, at the 4th heaven, Shi Bufan, Gue Li, and Shi Sui Tianqing all looked cold. Damn it! Has Di Ling become so strong? It's really unbelievable. The people outside were also discussing. In their opinion, there was only one person who could hit out the 9 voices of heavenly thunder, and that was Di Ling. Other than him, no one else could do it. However, the people of Wushuang City did not think so. They could clearly see what was happening in the 9th heaven. At this moment, their faces were full of shock, and even the old man was dumbfounded. It's this kid again. How is it possible? He realized that the one who hit out the 9 voices of heavenly thunder was a young man in red, a 2nd heaven saint. That's right, the one who hit out the 9 voices of heavenly thunder was still Lin Xian. Lin Xian is too powerful. After Shan Jingqiu hit out the 7 voices of heavenly thunder, her face was full of envy. Lin Xian smiled. Qiu hurry up and comprehend. You might be able to break through next time. Shan Jingqiu nodded and quickly sat down to comprehend. On the other side, Lin Xian did the same. At the 5th heaven, Di Ling opened his eyes. His face was full of joy. This allowed him to have a new understanding of the laws and improve. But soon, he frowned slightly. Who was the one who hit out the 9 voices of heavenly thunder? Could it be that ghostly? Everyone outside was guessing that it was him who hit out the 9 voices of heavenly thunder, but he knew that he had never hit out 9 voices. At most, he had only hit 8 voices. That was in the 3rd heaven. Therefore, he guessed that it could be Gue Li, because that guy's strength was closest to his, and he was from the Fiend Planet. The Fiend Planet was a place where countless ruthless people gathered. There were galactic pirates, and the laws of martial arts and divine abilities were very complicated. Perhaps Gue Li had learned some special divine abilities. This Gue Li should be at the 3rd heaven now. If that was the case, it was nothing. He was already at the 5th heaven, and hitting out the 9 voices of heavenly thunder in the 3rd heaven was easier than what he was doing now. Therefore, he did not mind. Chapter 36:41. Taking a deep breath, he struck out with his palm again. He actually struck out a new heavenly thunder sound, which made him wild with joy. It seemed that the heavenly thunder 9 sounds was related to the comprehension of laws. My comprehension of laws has improved, so I can strike out again. Thinking of this, he hurried to comprehend again. Di Ling's strategy was simple. He did not care if he could strike out the 9 sounds, but whether he could reach the 9 levels of heaven. Therefore, he had to move forward as much as possible to distance himself from the others. If he could reach the 9th or 8th level of heaven, even if he only struck out 1 heavenly thunder sound, it would be much more powerful than striking out 9 heavenly thunder sounds in 1 level of heaven. On this point, Di Ling was right. However, he was too fixated on the results and forgot about the process of comprehension. Lin Xian was different in this regard. He did not care about which level of heaven he could reach. What he cared about was whether he could comprehend the heavenly thunder 9 sounds on each level of heaven to strengthen his own laws. At this moment, Lin Xian woke up from his comprehension. He said to Shan Jingqiu, "Qiu, are you done?" Shan Jingqiu nodded. "I want to strike again." She struck out again and struck out the 8 heavenly thunder sounds. There was an additional heavenly thunder sound. This was due to Shan Jingqiu's new comprehension. This scene made Lin Xian happy. That's great. Hurry up and comprehend. Shan Jingqiu quickly sat down to comprehend. In the end, the two of them rose into the air again. They headed towards the third level of heaven. Soon, they arrived at the third level of heaven. There were fewer people in the third level of heaven because those who could come here were all extraordinary. Even Wang Xiaofeng and Yu Qinya were here. Yu Qinya had just finished comprehending. He was full of confidence and wanted to leave. However, he was stunned when he saw the next person. Damn it, how could it be? He was stunned because she saw Lin Xian. However, why was he here? This was unbelievable. Wasn't he at the first level of heaven? What was going on? Lin Xian and Shun Jingqiu saw Yu Qinya and squinted their eyes. You trash can still reach the third level of heaven. This is really surprising. Lin Xian said indifferently. Damn it, that's what I want to say. Yu Qinya roared madly. Damn brat, I didn't expect you to be able to come up here. To be honest, he was really shocked. In his opinion, Lin Xian would only be able to reach the first layer of heaven in his lifetime. He couldn't even ascend the second heaven. But now, he actually saw him in the third heaven. How could this be? Shun Jingqiu. It must be because of this woman that this brat was able to come up. Yes, that's right, that must be it. Yu Qinya kept consoling himself. Lin Xian saw through the other party's thoughts and sneered. What an idiot. Was it fun to deceive oneself? Don't worry, you will soon find out that I will completely surpass you because I have never treated you as an opponent. What a sharp-tongued brat. Shun Jingqiu can only help you up to the third heaven, and that's already her limit. I don't believe that you can ascend to the fourth heaven. I will trample you under my feet for the rest of my life. Yu Qinya roared madly and soared into the sky, heading towards the fourth heaven. The pressure of the fourth heaven was very strong. Yu Qinya felt a strong force that wanted to crush him. His body trembled, and he almost fell from the sky. Trample me under your feet? Dream on. Seems like you can't even break through the fourth heaven, and you still dare to talk big in front of me. Lin Xian raised his head to look at the scene and sneered. Courting death. Open for me. Wind and rain 9 transformations. Yu Qinya roared madly. Rain poured down from his body, and the wind howled, turning into a torrent of law that slashed towards the sky. Finally, a crack was torn open in the fourth heaven, and he rushed in. This brat could actually go up. Shun Jingqiu was surprised. Lin Xian was very calm. He said that he should have no problem with the fourth heaven, but it seemed like this was his limit, unless he had a new comprehension. But even if he had a new comprehension, it would at most be the fifth heaven. It was impossible for him to go any higher. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a golden light, and he gave Yu Qinya a conclusion. At the same time, he said, Don't worry about that brat. He's nothing to be afraid of. Let's hurry up and comprehend the 9 sounds of heavenly thunder. Buzz. Lin Xian waved his fist again. The golden fist was incomparable, and it carried the power of the 5 elemental law, as if it could destroy everything. With one punch, the third heaven shook violently, as if the sky and earth were turned upside down. The surrounding third heaven people were all stunned. Who was this? How could he be so fierce? Was he trying to destroy the heavens? They all turned their heads and looked around. In the next moment, they saw Lin Xian. Damn, it's this brat. Damn it, how is it possible? How did this brat come up? These people were crazy. Wang Xiaofeng naturally saw Lin Xian too. She had just woken up from her comprehension and was about to leave. But in the next moment, she saw Lin Xian attacking the third heaven, and his movements were very shocking. It's him. He could actually come up here. Lin Xian's appearance shocked Wang Xiaofeng, but that was not the most shocking thing. Soon, Wang Xiaofeng's eyeballs almost fell out because she heard 9 sounds between heaven and earth. The heavenly thunder 9 sounds surrounded Lin Xian, making him look like a god. He actually struck out 9 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. How is this possible? To be honest, she was really too shocked. One had to know that she had only struck out 7 sounds here. Although it was only a difference of 2 sounds, it was like heaven and earth. It was impossible for her to go any further. To her, 9 sounds were simply a legend. Damn it, 9 heavenly thunder 9 sounds, and it was done with one punch. This brat was a monster. After dealing, someone else struck out the heavenly thunder 9 sounds? No, she had to quickly tell Shui that a peerless enemy had appeared. In Wang Xiaofeng's opinion, The first two Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds must have been struck out by Dealing, but Lin Xian could also successfully strike out. This was a genius on par with Dealing. She soared into the sky, filled with shock. She wanted to tear the fourth heaven apart because she had to tell Shui Tianqian this news. At this moment, Shen Jingqiu clapped and cheered. Big Brother Lin was really too powerful. This was already the third Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds. Qiu'er was really envious. The sound was not loud, but Wang Xiaofeng heard it clearly and almost fell from the sky. She floated in the air, even trembling slightly, her face full of shock. What? The third Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds. Could it be that the first two were also struck out by him? Heavens! How could this be? Wang Xiaofeng felt that her knowledge had collapsed because she had always thought that the first two Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds were struck out by Dealing. Furthermore, she felt that only the Imperial Mausoleum would be able to do so. Chapter 3642. But now, he realized that it was not Dealing, but the kid in front of him. Just where did this brat come from? 3 Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds that had already surpassed Dealing. This guy really had that kind of strength. Previously, Lin Xian had said that Dealing was not worthy to be his opponent. At that time, everyone thought that Lin Xian was crazy. But now, Wang Xiaofeng felt that he was really qualified to say that. Wait, she suddenly froze. What did Shen Jingqiu call him? Brother Lin? Is his surname Lin? Suddenly, a figure appeared in her mind. Could it be that this was Lin Wuti? Thinking of this possibility, she felt that she was going crazy. Damn it, this big discovery. I must tell Shui Tianqian. They had to hurry and prepare. Wang Xiaofeng, at this moment, used all her strength to attack the fourth heaven. Finally, she tore a crack in the fourth heaven and went in. Wang Xiaofeng finally arrived at the fourth heaven, but she found that Shui Tianqian had already reached the fifth heaven. Wang Xiaofeng could only suppress the shock in her heart. She had to improve in the fourth heaven first and wait until she reached the fifth heaven. On the other side, Yu Qinya also arrived at the fourth heaven. He took a deep breath and began to comfort himself. It's okay. I'm already ahead of that kid. I will definitely trample him under my feet. Boom, boom, boom. Next, he bombarded the 4 directions, but in the end, he only managed to use 6 heavenly thunder roars. He was not satisfied. He gritted his teeth and attacked many times. But in the end, he could only use 5 heavenly thunder roars. This made him break out in cold sweat. Calm down. I have to calm down. Yu Qinya began to sit down cross-legged and began to comprehend the heavenly thunder roars. On the other side, which was the third heaven, Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu were also in the midst of comprehending. Finally, they opened their eyes. The two looked at each other and smiled. Let's go, Lin Xian said. Shen Jingqiu nodded, and the two looked up. Above, which was the fourth heaven, the surrounding third heaven people all became nervous when they saw this scene. Were these two finally going to set off again? Especially this Lin Xian. It was really unbelievable that he could make it this far. Previously, everyone was very curious as to why Lin Xian could come here. Was it because of Shen Jingqiu's help? Now, perhaps they would be able to see it with their own eyes. Qiu'er, you can go up first, Lin Xian said. Shen Jingqiu nodded. She leaped into the air and walked upwards. Soon, she felt an immense pressure. With a shout, she waved her finger. Violet light swirled in the air, forming an arc of moonlight that collided with the pressure of the fourth heaven. Clang, clang. Heaven fell and earth cracked. The fourth layer of heaven tumbled, but it still did not shatter. Upon seeing this, Shen Jingqiu flicked her fingers and fired a series of terrifying laws, which finally cracked the fourth layer open. Then, she entered. Big Brother Lin, come in quickly. A surprised voice sounded. Could it be that multiple people could pass through the rift? Many people's eyes lit up. Could it be that this was how Lin Xian came to the third layer of heaven previously? Thinking of this, someone's figure flashed. He wanted to use the rift opened by Shen Jingqiu to enter the fourth layer of heaven. But as soon as he got close, he was sent flying while vomiting blood. Damn it. No way. I can only open it myself. I can't use others. Those people were pale. Some did not believe it and wanted to try again, but they were sent flying while vomiting blood. The rift in the sky disappeared once again. This method did not work. But how did Lin Xian come up? Damn it, they had to see it clearly. Lin Xian sneered at the actions of the people around him. They really knew how to take advantage of loopholes. However, the test this time would not allow these opportunists to enter. As for him, he did not need anyone's help. In the next moment, he roared. His fist emitted a golden light and blasted towards the sky. With a boom, the 9 heavens and 10 earths shook. A huge hole was poked in the 4th layer of heaven. Lin Xian went straight up to the 4th layer of heaven. The people around him were stunned. Many of them were so scared that they knelt on the ground and trembled. Oh God, is this really a 2nd layer of heaven, Sage? This power seemed to be even stronger than when he leveled up. That was Shen Jingqiu, one of the 8 great geniuses. Could it be that this kid's strength is also at the level of the 8 great geniuses? Thinking of this possibility, their scalps went numb. This time, they finally knew how Lin Xian had managed to get here. He relied on his own strength to come up. There were even fewer people in the 4th layer of heaven. There were only about 10 people in total. Shen Jingqiu was surprised. There were so few people in the 4th layer of heaven. Would there be anyone in the 9th layer of heaven who could go up? It would be difficult. The higher one went, the greater the pressure. The 5th layer of heaven would be much harder than the 4th layer of heaven. Lin Xian looked around. He saw Yu Qinya and Wang Xiaofeng. There were also some people, but their faces were unfamiliar. This guy actually came up. Among the 8 great geniuses, there was a person called Yang Hao, ranked 8th. When he saw Lin Xian come up, he was also surprised. One had to know that those who could come here were at least at the level of the 8 great geniuses. The remaining people were some hidden monsters, or experts who were slightly older. For example, the 2,000-year-old sage. However, without exception, these people's cultivation were around the 4th layer of heaven. The weakest one was at the late-stage 3rd layer of heaven. It was rare to see someone like Lin Xian, who was at the late-stage 2nd layer of heaven. Boom! While he was still wondering what was going on, he suddenly heard a sound. No, 9 sounds were heard at the same time. There was a roar between heaven and earth. Damn it! Yang Hao immediately knelt down. He saw Lin Xian punch out the 9 heavenly thunder sounds. This was too unbelievable. It was like a dream. Not only that, but everyone on the 4th layer was also shocked. Even those who were in the middle of comprehending opened their eyes. Their faces were full of shock. The 9 heavenly thunder sounds. Who sounded the 9 heavenly thunder sounds? Moreover, it was on their 1st layer of heaven. It was definitely not Di-Ling because Di-Ling had far surpassed them. In other words, a newcomer came from below and sounded the 9 heavenly thunder sounds. Who was it? They all turned their heads and saw a person surrounded by 9 lightning bolts. Who was it? That gigolo. Damn it. Wasn't he a gigolo? How could he be so powerful? The people around them were also scared out of their wits. Wang Xiaofeng also opened her eyes. It was that familiar figure again. In the next moment, she saw Lin Xian's figure. It was him. It was really him. He could really make the 9 heavenly thunder sounds. Yu Qinya was also awakened by the sound. He opened his eyes and looked. Could it be that Di-Ling had returned? Chapter 36:43. When he saw Lin Xian in the distance, he was stunned. Damn it! What's wrong with that kid? How did he get here? It took him a lot of effort to enter the 4th heaven. How did he do it? When he saw the 9 thunderous sounds revolving around Lin Xian, he was even more stunned. Heavenly thunder 9 sounds. Impossible! He stood up and screamed. Did he just use the heavenly thunder 9 sounds? What a joke! He could only use the heavenly thunder 6 sounds, but Lin Xian had 3 more sounds than him. It was unbelievable. I don't believe it. There must be something wrong with the 4th heaven. Yu Qinya screamed crazily. He started attacking in all directions. If he could use the heavenly thunder 9 sounds, it would mean that there was something wrong. However, he could only use the heavenly thunder 6 sounds at most. He was devastated and desperate. He roared, "Damn kid, go to hell." Yu Qinya jumped up and charged towards Lin Xian. He would never allow such a person to exist. Oh no! Yu Qinya attacked. The surrounding people exclaimed. Shun Jingqiu's expression changed, and she wanted to attack. However, before she could, Yu Qinya was attacked. It turned out that the Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds drew 9 mysterious ancient runes and attacked in all directions, sending Yu Qinya flying. Yu Qinya flew backward and vomited blood. His body was pierced through, and he looked miserable. In the 9th heaven, no one was allowed to attack others. This was a warning. If there was a next time, he would be killed. A cold voice rang out, and everyone felt their scalps go numb. Shin Jingqiu heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian sneered. He had already guessed that this would be the result. It was ridiculous that Yu Qinya was such an idiot and dared to challenge the rules of Peerless City. Qiu, go and cultivate. No one will disturb us, Lin Xian said. Then, he started to comprehend. Shun Jingqiu used the Heavenly Thunder 8 sounds and started to comprehend as well. This scene shocked everyone once again. The Heavenly Thunder 8 sounds was too powerful. It was already the 4th heaven. They did not expect Shun Jingqiu to become stronger and use the Heavenly Thunder 8 sounds. She had completely surpassed them. Impossible. This is impossible. Damn it. Why is he so strong? Yu Qinya crawled up from the ground and quickly recovered from his injuries. He gritted his teeth, his face filled with madness. To be honest, the strength of these two people had exceeded his expectations, especially Lin Xian, who had actually used the Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds. Damn it, what kind of luck did he have? I don't believe it. I have to see what's wrong with this kid. He gritted his teeth and glared at Lin Xian. The others also did not leave, because the Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds was too inconceivable. At the same time, there were even fewer people in the 5th layer of heaven. There were only a few people left, and their faces were filled with astonishment. He thought of the Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds again. This was already the 4th time. The Imperial Mausoleum had already defied the heavens to such an extent. Every time he ascended a heaven, he would have to strike the 9 sounds of thunder. Until now, they still believed that it was from the Imperial Mausoleum. In the 6th layer of heaven, Di Ling's face was also solemn. That damned ghostly. How could he be so powerful? Everyone thought it was Di Ling, and Di Ling thought it was his enemy, Ghostly, who made it. The people outside were also guessing, their faces filled with madness. Only the people from Peerless City had the corners of their mouths twitching. Damn it, it's that kid again. This kid was incredible, and had already been listed as a key target for observation. They did not expect that after Senior Brother Fu, there would be another person so heaven-defying, sounding the Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds 4 times in a row. They did not know if he could break Senior Brother Fu's record. That was impossible. Senior Brother Fu had sounded 7 Heavenly Thunder 9 sounds. He had created a record. No matter how strong that kid was, it was impossible to exceed 7 times. A few Peerless City envoys were discussing quickly. The Senior Brother Fu they were talking about was naturally Fu Hongye. Fu Hongye was a legendary figure in Peerless City, and he had created many records. The old man's eyes were also twinkling. He did not know what kind of miracle this kid could create. He was also looking forward to Lin Xian. In the 4th layer of heaven, Lin Xian opened his eyes. On the other side, Shun Jingqiu had also finished comprehending. Both of their laws had increased again. Sigh, you trash still haven't left. Lin Xian was the first to see Yu Qinya, and then the corner of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. What? Could it be that you have stopped at the 4th layer of heaven and can't ascend to the 5th layer of heaven? I think you have used up all your potential. Damn kid, you dare to look down on me. Yu Qinya instantly stood up and roared crazily. He was about to go crazy from anger. He was actually being looked down on. I am here to expose you. I don't believe that you can ascend to the 4th layer of heaven with your own strength. Lin Xian laughed loudly after hearing that. So it was because of this. Yu Qinya, do you really think that you are very powerful? Do you really think that you can ignore everything just because you are one of the 8 great prodigies? Do you think that because my cultivation is lower than yours, my strength should be lower than yours? You are really too arrogant. In this world, there were millions of possibilities. Some people's strength could not be measured by their cultivation. I am one of them. So put away your pride. You are nothing in front of me. Sharp-tongued kid, you are not qualified to lecture me. Yuchinya snorted coldly. Why can't I look down on you? I am only 900 years old this year. I am very young, and I am already a fourth layer of heaven sage. But you are only at the second layer of heaven. You are 2 levels lower than me. You might not be able to reach my level in this lifetime. Why can't I look down on you? Yuchinya roared crazily, and the others were also shocked. Yuchinya is so young. Only 900 years old? Lin Xian was disdainful after hearing that. You have lived for almost 1,000 years. What a surprise. I thought you were only 100 years old. It seems that you are not my opponent at all. Lin Xian shook his head, looking like a lonely expert. This scene made Yuchinya so angry that he vomited blood. Kid, you can be arrogant. I will see how you die when you go out later. If it was not for the rules that forbid fighting, do you think you are qualified to speak in front of me? A gigolo who relies on women is not qualified to be arrogant in front of me. Relying on women? Lin Xian sneered. Fine. It seems that you will not give up until you see the coffin. Today, I will let you see my true strength. Yuchinya, I will let you see that your pride is not worth mentioning at all in front of me. Lin Xian's eyes were serious. His body shone brightly, and the whole world's Tao was resonating with him. In the next moment, he stepped on the void and walked toward the sky. The remaining people saw this scene and their eyes focused. Heavens, is he going to break through to the 5th layer of heaven? These people were too shocked, because they could sense that the 5th layer of heaven was not so easy to break through. It might be a watershed. You dare to break through to the 5th layer of heaven? What an idiot. I will see how you die. Below, Yuchinya sneered. Chapter 36:44. He did not think that Lin Xian could break through to the 5th heaven with his own strength. Perhaps he would be blasted into a bloody mist by the pressure in an instant. Lin Xian looked solemn as his body shone brightly like a golden god of war, standing in the void. His laws continued to rise, and his divine body was fully activated. The void trembled as a violent force shone through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. He threw out a punch that was like a vast ocean. Endless power of laws blasted towards the sky. At this moment, everyone's face changed. This was because this power was simply too strong. They simply could not believe that this was something that a second heaven sage could produce. Boom! The 4th heaven continued to rumble. The 5th heaven also continued to tremble as a hole was punched in an instant. Lin Xian's black hair fluttered in the wind as he roared and stepped into the 5th heaven. His punch pierced through the sky. At this moment, everyone was stunned. The people of the 4th heaven were dumbfounded as they knelt down. The people of the 5th heaven were even more shocked as their eyes shone with a cold light. Who was it? Did he enter the 5th heaven again? There were only a few people in the 5th heaven. Those who could enter were all peerless experts and top evildoers. Was it one of the other 8 great sky prides? They all turned their heads to look. At the next moment, their eyelids twitched wildly, because they felt that the sky was falling and the earth was cracking as a huge hole appeared near them. Then, a figure walked out. What? It was actually this kid. The few people of the 5th heaven were completely stunned as they realized that the person who came up was not the person they had imagined. It was someone who surprised them. It was that gigolo. How could it be him? How could he be here? In Stillwater Sky City, Shirbufan and the others were shocked. They had an impression of this person. He was one of Shan Jingqiu's people. However, in their opinion, he should be one of Shan Jingqiu's male pets and should not be too strong. But now, he could actually come up to the 5th heaven. It was unbelievable. For a moment, they were all stunned as their minds went blank. Below, the people of the 4th heaven were even more shocked. Lin Xian stood on the 5th layer of heaven and looked at the 4th layer of heaven through the crack. He coldly said, Yuchinya, how is it? Where is your pride? Do you still think you can look down on me? Yuchinya's mind was blank, and he was dumbstruck. Only when Lin Xian asked him did he regain his senses. The next moment, he felt like he was about to pee his pants. Impossible. He was really too shocked. The other party had broken the sky with a single punch. What kind of strength was this? No, this was not his true strength. This place was very strange, and it should have something to do with the laws. But if it was the laws, then it was even more inconceivable. The other party's comprehension of laws was already so profound. This had completely surpassed him. For a moment, he was unable to accept this. Damn, brat, don't be so arrogant. If you can do it, so can I. Yuchinya roared and soared into the sky. His heart was filled with shock, but he believed in himself. Perhaps the barrier here wasn't as strong as before, and that was why the other party had been able to enter. Boom. Yuchinya exerted all of his strength and blasted it towards the sky. This attack was extremely domineering, as if the entire sky was about to shatter. However, when the palm landed, heaven and earth trembled, and there were no cracks. Instead, Yuchinya was sent flying. What? Yuchinya did not succeed. The people of the fourth layer of heaven were shocked. It seemed that the gap between the two parties was too big. Damn it, I don't believe it. Yuchinya roared and attacked crazily. However, the fifth layer of heaven was like a Milky Way hanging above his head, making it impossible for Yuchinya to come over. Seeing this, Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. Is this what you have to be proud of? Is this what you use to look down on me? What a joke. Hearing this, Yuchinya was so angry that he vomited blood. As one of the 8 geniuses, his strength was strong, and he had just broken through to the fourth layer of heaven, so he was proud and arrogant. But now, he was being looked down on? Damn it, I can't accept this. He roared crazily, and a terrifying law rushed out and attacked above. Boom, boom, boom. The fluctuations between heaven and earth were even more terrifying, but the fifth layer of heaven still did not crack. Humph, trash. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with disdain. He ignored Yuchinya and looked at Shun Jingqiu. Qiu, come up quickly. I'll wait for you at the fifth layer of heaven. As he spoke, the crack under Lin Xian's feet slowly healed. After it had completely healed, the people of the fourth layer of heaven were still in a daze. Lin Xian's previous actions were too spectacular, and coupled with Yuchinya's sorry state, it formed a sharp contrast. They felt that Lin Xian was the real genius, and Yuchinya was just an ant. No, I don't believe it. Yuchinya roared crazily and attacked quickly. He would definitely break through and enter the fifth layer of heaven. At this moment, he was extremely crazy. On the other side, Shun Jingqiu also attacked. She took a deep breath and shouted. She waved her hand, bringing along a powerful law. Naturally, this attack could not break through the fifth layer of heaven, but she was not discouraged. Her mentality was very stable now. Therefore, after a period of time, she coaxed the fifth layer of heaven open and stepped in. Shun Jingqiu also went in. Many people were envious. Seeing this, Yuchinya spat out a mouthful of blood. He was so angry that he went mad. How could it be? How could I not go in? He was mad. To be honest, he was suppressed by Shun Jingqiu before, but after his cultivation breakthrough, he did not put Shun Jingqiu in his eyes. In his opinion, with his current strength, he could compete for the top 3 of the 8 geniuses. But now, Shun Jingqiu also went in, and he still could not break through. He could not accept it. Wang Xiaofeng saw this scene and shook her head slightly. Yuchinya's mentality was broken, and he could not use his full strength. Thinking of this, she shook her head. If he continued to be crazy, he would be a pitiful worm. Ignoring him, she also began to break through to the fifth layer of heaven. The fifth layer of heaven. Everyone was in a state of shock. They had not recovered from their shock. Lin Xian had entered? How could it be? But until now, they found that it was really a fact. They had no choice but to accept it. Soon, they found that another person came in from the fifth layer of heaven. It was Shun Jingqiu. They were shocked. After Shun Jingqiu came in, she looked at Lin Xian. Brother Lin, I'm here. Lin Xian nodded. Qiu, recover your strength first, then attack. Shun Jingqiu sat down cross-legged and began to recover her strength. Lin Xian attacked. When he entered the fifth layer of heaven, he only threw a punch and did not use much strength. So now, he was ready to break through to the heavenly thunder 9 sounds. Chapter 36:45. The fifth layer of heaven was much more difficult than the previous ones. Lin Xian only used the 5 sounds of heavenly thunder in one punch. Wow, this kid is so strong. Shi Bufan and the others exclaimed. But soon, they screamed in fright. That was because Lin Xian had thrown out another punch. This time, the 9 sounds of heavenly thunder were all heard. Shi Bufan, Shi Tianqing and the others were scared to death. Damn it! How is this possible? How can he be so strong? Is this kid still human? Under everyone's surprised gaze, Lin Xian sat down cross-legged. What did you see? Shi Bufan's mouth twitched. The stars in Shi Tianqing's eyes disappeared. He used the 9 sounds of heavenly thunder. Heavens! He can be compared with Di Ling. Damn it! This kid is too strange. Ghostly was also gritting his teeth. Between heaven and earth, the voice of the messenger sounded again. In the 9 layers of heaven, do not waste time, because time is also part of your assessment. If you feel that you can no longer move forward, then it is wise to give up appropriately. Hearing this, everyone was shocked again. They originally thought that they could stay here for a little longer, and maybe there would be a chance. But now it seemed that it was impossible. Time was also part of the assessment, so if they stayed here for too long and could not move forward, then their ranking would fall. So thinking of this, they could no longer be shocked. Let's break through to the 6th layer of heaven first, then think about what's going on with this kid. There were only 6 people in the 5th layer of heaven. At this moment, except for Shan Jingqiu and Lin Xian, the other 4 people were attacking like crazy. However, the 6th layer of heaven was not a place where you could go as you wish. Even if Shi Bufan, Shi Tianqing, Ghostly and the others attacked for a long time, they still could not break through. This made them feel despair. No, I can't accept this. They were all peerless geniuses and had incomparable confidence in themselves. How could they retreat because of such a small matter? However, after 3 days, they were completely in despair. In these 3 days, they never stopped attacking, and each time they used their strongest attack, but they still could not break through. Shi Bufan sighed and said, "It seems like I can't do it anymore. I'm going to leave." Indeed, it would be futile to stay any longer. The 5th layer of heaven was probably his limit. Furthermore, there was also the factor of time. He could not stay here indefinitely. Therefore, he was prepared to leave. Shi Tianqing sighed. Could it be that he really couldn't do it? He didn't leave, but another person did. This person wasn't one of the 8 great geniuses. He was a new genius. However, they also chose to leave. The only ones left to attack were Ghost Force and Stillwater Sky City. Finally, Ghostly tore open a crack and successfully entered the 6th layer of heaven. He looked up to the sky and laughed. "Ha ha ha ha, Shi Tianqing, I'm leaving first. You have fun." Had Ghostly entered? Damn it. Shui Tianqing unleashed his strongest eye technique, but he still didn't succeed. In desperation, he could only choose to withdraw. His figure disappeared in the 5th heaven. Only Lin Xian and Shan Jingqiu were left on the 5th floor. The 2 of them were still comprehending and had not woken up. The 6th layer of heaven. A figure appeared. It was Ghostly. As soon as he appeared, he looked up to the sky and laughed. It was really great. He finally reached the 6th layer of heaven. Presumably, only he and Di Ling could reach this level. Stopping laughing, he looked around in all directions. Suddenly, he revealed a puzzled look. Why didn't he see Di Ling's figure? Could it be that guy went to the 7th layer of heaven? He was surprised. In fact, he didn't know that just before he entered the 6th layer of heaven, Di Ling also chose to withdraw. Di Ling was the first to reach the 6th layer. Compared to the others, he was much earlier. Therefore, he had enough time to comprehend and even attack the 7th layer of heaven. But in the end, he was desperate. He couldn't open the 7th layer of heaven. Coupled with the time factor, Di Ling decisively chose to withdraw. In his opinion, even if he was in the 6th layer of heaven, he was still the first. He even felt that no one could set foot on the 6th layer of heaven. Ghostly didn't know where Di Ling went, but he didn't care. He was now going to use all his strength to attack the heavenly thunder sound. In the 6th layer of heaven, he only attacked 3 heavenly thunder sound. And in the end, he didn't break through the 7th layer of heaven. So he could only choose to withdraw. The 5th layer of heaven. Lin Xian and Shan Jingqiu opened their eyes. They began to attack the 6th layer of heaven. Lin Xian attacked first. His body shone brightly, like a sun. His eyes were like lightning. He attacked aggressively. At this moment, he attacked with sword chi. The five elements sword moved freely in the sky, slashing the heavens and destroying the earth. It tore a huge crack in the sixth layer of heaven. Then, Lin Xin walked up. "Qiu'er, it's up to you." Shen Jingqiu nodded. She used her spiritual body, which caused her cultivation level to increase greatly. Naturally, she broke through the barrier of the sixth layer of heaven. The two of them finally arrived at the sixth layer of heaven. When they arrived, there was no one around. Shen Jingqiu said in surprise, "Did they go to the seventh layer of heaven?" Lin Xian said, "Not necessarily. They might have already withdrawn. Don't worry about them. Let's continue." Lin Xian attacked with sword chi in all directions. Finally, he attacked with the 9 heavenly thunder sounds. Then, he sat down with his legs crossed. Shen Jingqiu attacked with the 7 heavenly thunder sounds. When the 9 heavenly thunder sounds echoed in the 9th layer of heaven, the people below went crazy. The 6th 9 heavenly thunder sounds. Damn it! How far did the Imperial Mausoleum go? At the 4th layer of heaven, there were only a dozen people. Among them, Wang Xiaofeng and Yu Qinya were there. Wang Xiaofeng's face darkened. She did not break through the barrier of the 5th layer of heaven. Now that she heard the 6th 9 heavenly thunder sounds, she was shocked. She chose to give up. If she stayed any longer, she would break down. When she disappeared into the 4th layer of heaven, she glanced at Yu Qinya. At this moment, Yu Qinya's hair was disheveled and his eyes were red. He looked like a lunatic. Indeed, Yu Qinya had been attacking aggressively for the past few days, but he still could not break through the 5th layer of heaven. This made him feel hopeless. The others were also shocked, especially the people from Peerless City, who were even more shocked. 6 heavenly thunder sounds. God, is this guy really going to challenge Senior Brother Fu's record? If he could reach the 7th layer of heaven and attack with the 7th 9 heavenly thunder sounds, he would be able to tie the record. It was too shocking. How many years had it been? Finally, a peerless monster appeared. This guy is not ordinary. The elder's eyes lit up. His physique is definitely not ordinary. It should be one of the strongest physiques in the world. His sword chi is even more terrifying. That sharp aura shocked me. I wondered what kind of swordsmanship he practiced. This is getting more and more interesting. He felt that Lin Xian was too interesting. He wanted to see if Lin Xian could break the record of Wushuang City. Chapter 3646. Outside the 9th heaven, figures appeared one after another. Many of them were disappointed because most of them did not even reach the 1st heaven. These people were naturally eliminated. They could only return to the crowd with disappointed faces. If they wanted to participate in the Holy City's assessment, they could only wait for the next time. And the next time, it would be hundreds or even thousands of years later. So how could they not feel despair? Most of the people who reached the 9th heaven only reached the 1st heaven and could not advance any further. Those who could reach the 2nd heaven or above were few and far between. Although they could only reach the 1st heaven, these people were also incomparably excited because they had finally obtained the qualifications to enter the next round. To them, it was a great honor. Those who had successfully ascended to the 9th heaven were standing in another void. Moreover, it was distributed according to their results. Above them, there were figures that appeared. They were all from the 9th heaven. Suddenly, someone exclaimed, "Look, it's Di Ling." Above the 9th heaven, a figure appeared. His expression was cold, his gaze was cold, and there was a trace of dominance. It was the first place of the 8 great prodigies. Heavens, look! His position was far above those people, and he was surrounded by the 5 heavenly thunders. Everyone looked carefully and found that Di Ling's position was very special. It could be said that he was the highest one. However, some people also found that something was wrong. Why was he only surrounded by 5 heavenly thunder sounds? It shouldn't be. Didn't he use the heavenly thunder 9 sounds? Indeed, they just heard the heavenly thunder 9 sounds. Could it be that it was not from Di Ling? Heavens, how was that possible? Everyone was in an uproar and discussed spiritedly. At this time, a few more figures appeared. It was Shirbufan and the others. It was the 8 great prodigies. They also found that it was Zhishui Tianqing and the others who came out. These people were at the 5th heaven. They found Shirbufan, Zhishui Tianqing, and a few others below Diling. Obviously, they were at the 5th heaven. It seemed that Diling was the highest at the moment. However, even Diling had only reached the 6th heaven. There was still a gap of 3 levels to reach the 9th heaven. It was estimated that no one could surpass him. Just as he finished speaking, the crowd discovered that beside the mausoleum, at the same height, another figure had appeared. Heaven, there was actually someone who had ascended to the 6th heaven. Who was it? At this moment, the universe was in an uproar. Even Shui Tianqing, Shirbufan, and the others glanced over too. Diling was also surprised. Someone had actually reached the same height as him? Who was it? He narrowed his eyes. In the next moment, he saw a familiar figure and snorted coldly. It was Ghostly. Thinking about it, only the other party could be compared to him. He took a closer look and realized that Ghostly only had these 3 heavenly thunder roars circling around him. This made him laugh. 3 heavenly thunder roars of the 6th layer of heaven were much weaker than his. Feeling Diling's mocking gaze, Ghostly's face darkened. Damn it! He was short of 2 heavenly thunder roars. He was really unwilling to accept it. If he had enough time, he would definitely continue to try, but he didn't dare to take the risk. Although this outcome made him unhappy, it was still within his expectations. Originally, among the 8 geniuses, he was ranked second only to Diling. Now, his result was also second to Diling. To him, it was still acceptable. Anyway, this was just the first stage. At most, he would just have to wait for the next stage. He would just have to surpass the other party. Do you think that you can surpass me just because you hit a few heavenly thunder roars? You're too naive. Even if you hit the perfect heavenly thunder roars in the previous few heavens, you're still not my opponent. Diling's voice rang out. He had already guessed that this would be the result. However, Ghostly was stunned. What did you say? What heavenly thunder roars? Weren't you the one who hit them? Below, Shui Tianqing, Shirbufan, and the others were also stunned. Damn it, what was going on? It wasn't Diling? Then who was it? Was it Ghostly? Diling was also stunned. What did you say? I hit them? I didn't hit the heavenly thunder roars. It wasn't you who did it? He had always thought that it was Ghostly, but looking at Ghostly's appearance, it wasn't him. This scene caused an uproar. Heaven, what was going on? It wasn't Diling who hit the heavenly thunder roars. It wasn't Ghostly who hit the heavenly thunder roars. Then who was it? Heavens! Who was it? To hit 6 heavenly thunder roars, could it be that there were still several monsters in the 9 heavens? For a moment, the crowd was discussing. In Shui Sky City, Shirbufan and the others were shocked beyond words. Ghostly and Diling, after the initial shock, also sucked in a breath of cold air. Then their faces sank. They had always thought that it was the other party who hit the heavenly thunder roars, but now they realized that it wasn't. It wasn't the 2 of them, but someone else, and that person was still in the 9 heavens. Damn it, who was it? Who was it? Could it be that there was a hidden peerless expert? Their eyes burst out with a biting cold light, looking at the 9 heavens, wanting to see through it. What was going on? Which expert was it? At this time, a few more figures flashed out. Among them, Yang Hao, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others also appeared. Their position was below Shui Sky City, the position of the 4th heaven. You're out. When Shui Sky City saw Wang Xiaofeng, they also breathed a sigh of relief. But Wang Xiaofeng's face was incomparably dignified. She said, Shui, something big happened. Someone hit the heavenly thunder roars. And it was several heavenly thunder roars. You don't need to say this, we know. Shirbufan said in a deep voice. Shui Tianqing also nodded. We know, and now we know that it wasn't the mausoleum, nor was it Guili who made it. Damn it, who was it? I know who it was. Wang Xiaofeng said. What? You know, Shui Sky City was stunned. Even Diling and Ghostly cast their gaze over. This gaze caused the illusory technique around Wang Xiaofeng to shatter. Wang Xiaofeng felt a great pressure. Without others asking, he said that it was Lin Wudi who hit it. Lin Wudi, who was this? What an unfamiliar name. Those people were completely stunned, and the surrounding onlookers also stared with their eyes wide open. Damn it! Who dared to use the name Woody? Was he crazy? Could it be that there was an existence more terrifying than Ling? At this moment, the crowd was in an uproar and heated discussions once again. But Buffon and Shui Sky City's pupils shrank, and their faces became extremely frightened. Others did not know this name, but he knew that Lin Wudy had appeared in the small martial arts competition and easily defeated the two of them. At that time, the other party said that he would come to participate in Wushuang City's assessment, but until now, they had not seen him. However, the other party really appeared. So who was he? Why did they not recognize him? Chapter 36:47. The others were also puzzled. Who was so bold to use the name Woody? He was too reckless. But soon, the news of the martial arts conference spread. It turned out that Lin Wudy had once sent Buffon flying with a punch, and he had easily defeated Shui Sky City, which shocked everyone. They knew how terrifying Shui Sky Star and Buffon were. Someone could win so easily. He was definitely a peerless genius, and it was said that he had won in their strongest areas. If that was the case, the other party was definitely not an arrogant person, but a heaven-defying elite. They were completely curious. Who was it? Who was this Lin Wudy? The people of Peerless City also had strange expressions. That kid dared to use Woody as his name. He was really arrogant. Their expressions were incomparably strange. Only they knew who had struck out the nine-shade sky thunder. Gue Li and Di Ling were stupefied. They didn't expect such a terrifying person to be here. They had heard of Lin Wudy before, but they did not pay attention at that time. In their opinion, the matter was just exaggerated. In this world, who dared to call himself Woody? If Di Ling did not dare, who else dared? But now, this person had appeared again, and he was extremely powerful. Who was it? Who was this Lin Wudy? Hurry up and tell me. Di Ling's voice was loud, and his eyes were like the sun. It made Wang Xiaofeng uncomfortable. She was about to open her mouth to say something, but at that moment, everyone was stunned. Di Ling did not care anymore. He suddenly turned his head and stared at the nine heavens. Because the nine-shade sky thunder had sounded, the world was filled with a roar that did not dissipate for a long time. Everyone was completely shocked. God, the seven-shade sky thunder. Could it be that Lin Wudy had struck out? Everyone went crazy. There was silence between heaven and earth. Only the nine-shade sky thunder surrounded them. The people of Peerless City were also stunned. Damn it, he had struck out the seven-shade sky thunder. He had tied senior brother Fu's record. The elder from Wushuang City also sucked in a breath of cold air. Something big was about to happen. His palms formed a seal, and a small array instantly sent the news back to the headquarters of Peerless City. Lin Wudy. It was Lin Wudy who struck out. God, he was too heaven-defying. Was he going to sweep all the way? 7 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. This meant that he had already reached the 7th layer of heaven. He had already surpassed Di Ling, and ghostly screams rang out one after another. Everyone was in an uproar. Indeed, someone actually surpassed the Emperor Mausoleum. It really was too inconceivable. Di Ling's face was incomparably gloomy. Damn it, damn it. He had never thought that someone would be able to surpass him. Even though Ghostly was on the same level as him, he still had 2 less heavenly thunder roars than him. But now, someone boasted that he had reached the 7th layer of heaven. This had completely surpassed him. Damn it, Lin Wudy. Di Ling gritted his teeth. He had never hated someone so much. His limelight had been completely stolen by the other party at this moment. He couldn't stand it. Could it be that guy? Ghostly frowned as he thought of someone. Not only him, but a figure also appeared in the minds of Buffon and Shui Tianqing. The reason for that was because they had personally witnessed someone unleashing the heavenly lightning 9 sounds. However, at that time, they felt that it was a coincidence. Now it seemed that it might not be the case. That person might be Lin Wudy. But how could it be Lin Wudy? How could it be him? These people did not believe it at all. Now, they could only wait for the final result. Look at the person who finally walked out. Who exactly was it? While the outside world was in an uproar, In the ninth layer of heaven, Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu woke up again. They attacked from the sixth layer of heaven. Among them, Lin Xian broke through the seventh layer of heaven very easily. Shen Jingqiu, on the other hand, was a little strenuous. However, in the end, with the help of her spiritual body of heaven and earth, she managed to reach the seventh layer of heaven and earth. In the seventh layer of heaven, Lin Xian unleashed the heavenly lightning 9 sounds again. He only managed to unleash the heavenly lightning 6 sounds. A few days later, the two of them opened their eyes. "Qiu'er, let's go," Lin Xian said. Shen Jingqiu shook her head. "Brother Lin, I feel that I have reached my limit. I don't think I can go any further." As a genius, her intuition was very accurate. Shen Jingqiu, on the other hand, knew that her limit should be the seventh layer of heaven. She did not force it. She said, "Brother Lin, you are different from me. You should be able to go further. So go ahead, don't worry about me. Qiu'er, I will wait outside for you to come back victorious." "All right." Lin Xian nodded. He could tell that Shen Jingqiu already had a hard time reaching the seventh layer of heaven. Thinking about the eighth layer of heaven, "Qiu'er, wait for me outside." Qiu'er wants to see Brother Lin reach the eighth layer of heaven with her own eyes. Shen Jingqiu lifted her small face. Lin Xian did not say anything. His expression was very serious. The eighth layer of heaven was not a game. He had to do his best. The aura on his body was rising. He had already used his 9-yang divine body to the extreme. The aura of the eighth layer of heaven was too strong. Even with his divine body, he couldn't withstand it. Boom! The black Qilin tattoo on his body was activated. It covered his entire body. Only then did he manage to withstand the terrifying aura of the eighth layer of heaven. It was just the aura. He had not attacked yet. Once the battle started, this aura would be even more terrifying. The heavens and earth trembled. A terrifying aura spread out. Everyone in the entire star region felt a sense of oppression. They were terrified. "Damn it, what's going on?" Someone took a deep breath. It seemed like someone was going to break through to the eighth layer of heaven. "What? Are you saying that Lin Wudi can continue to break through? That's unbelievable." At this moment, everyone looked at the ninth layer of heaven. They were all waiting. Will he succeed? The people of Wushuang City were also very nervous. Is this kid still going to try? Isn't that too unbelievable? Is Senior Fu's record going to be surpassed? No. Even if he reached the eighth layer of heaven, he would not surpass Senior Fu's record, unless he could hit the eighth heavenly thunder 9 sounds. But if he reached the eighth layer of heaven, he would be tied with 2 records. These people were too shocked. Wushuang City had 2 records in the ninth layer of heaven. The first was Fu Hongye's record of reaching the 7th layer of heaven and hitting all 7 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. The second record was set by another person. This person was the first-generation disciple of Wushuang City, Ling Hu Chueshue. This person had reached the 8th layer of heaven and hit the 8th heavenly thunder 8 sounds. Fu Hongxue was the record holder of the heavenly thunder 9 sounds. Ling Hu Chueshue had reached the highest 8th layer of heaven. These 2 people were the strongest in their respective fields. Now, Lin Xian had tied with Fu Hongye's 7 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. If he could reach the 8th layer of heaven, then he might tie the record of the highest layer of heaven. How could the people of Wushuang City not be excited? Chapter 36:48. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Within the void, a formation appeared, following which, a figure walked out of it. The appearance of the figure made many people confused. Is someone here? Who is it? On the other hand, the faces of the people from Wushuang City changed. Senior Brother Fu, you actually came personally. The person who came was Fu Hongye. He was here too. I heard that someone tied my record and is trying to break through to the 8th heaven. He was indeed very surprised. One had to know that being able to use the heavenly thunder 9 sounds was already very heaven-defying. It's that guy. The people from Wushuang City pointed at the array. Only they could see the array formation. Fu Hongye looked through the array formation, and in the next moment, he was stunned. It's him. He was surprised and said, "Interesting. I didn't misjudge him." Senior brother, do you know this guy? The few people from Wushuang City were shocked. Even the elder said, "Hongya, what's going on?" "Elder, do you remember that I said that I met an interesting guy in the first astral realm?" "It's him." "You mean that guy?" The elder from Wushuang City was shocked. He had heard that there was someone who was strong in the first astral realm. He fought with the geniuses from Sky Thunder City and was not at a disadvantage. They were shocked. Therefore, they were very curious. If such a person could join Wushuang City, it would be great for them. They didn't expect it to be this guy in front of them. This guy is called Lin Wudi. Isn't he too arrogant? The people from Wushuang City were shocked. Hearing this, Fu Hongya laughed. Lin Wudi? That's right. It's him. You don't know that this name is famous in the first astral realm. Just wait and see. He will cause a storm in the second astral realm. A smile appeared on Fu Hongya's face, as Lin Xian was someone he had high hopes for. But could he enter the 8th heaven? He wasn't sure. Back then, he didn't even enter. The 7th heaven, Lin Xian's aura was getting stronger and stronger. The energy from the 8th heaven was also getting more and more terrifying. Shen Jingqiu had already retreated to the edge of the 7th heaven. The force in the sky was too much for her to bear. At this time, Lin Xian made his move. He raised his hand and a sword energy shot out like a divine sword, illuminating the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Boom! The pressure of the 8th heaven also poured down. It was as if a real sky was pressing down. The two collided, releasing an incomparable aura. The sword chi was sent flying, but Lin Xian did not stop at all. Instead, he continued to attack. The sword chi flew out and turned into a huge dragon. It roared at the sky with an extremely powerful roar. The black Qilin tattoo on his body also let out a roar. The battle erupted. Lin Xian made a powerful move, and he felt an immense pressure. This pressure was even more terrifying than that of the 7th heaven clans. Outside, energy filled the air, and the 9 heavens trembled. Everyone knew that the people inside were starting to attack. They held their breath. He waited nervously. Do you think Lin Wudi will succeed? That shouldn't be possible. That's right. He hit 7 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. It was already heaven-defying. He even tied a record. Moreover, it was said that in the entire Wushuang City, there was only one person who successfully stepped into the 8th heaven among the 2 generations of disciples. That was the first generation's chief disciple, Linghu Chueshue. Other than him, no one else could do it. Everyone was excited. They felt that it was really worth it to be able to come this time. They did not expect to see such an amazing feat. They probably wouldn't see it even once in a few thousand years. Di Ling and the others looked gloomy, especially Di Ling. He was clenching his teeth. Damn it. He can't succeed. He can't succeed. He could not bear it. Someone had surpassed him, and now he was going to step into the 8th heaven. He prayed in his heart that he could not succeed. The 7th heaven, Shen Jingqiu was also extremely nervous, because at this moment, the battle had reached its climax. However, Lin Xian still had not broken through the 8th heaven. It was unbelievable. One had to know that previously, Lin Xian had been able to shatter the sky with a single punch. Now, after fighting for so long, he still could not break through. It was unbelievable. Boom! Lin Xian waved his hand. The 5 elemental laws turned into a giant dragon and rushed into the sky. The 8th heaven kept shaking. However, it did not break. Instead, a divine chain hung down, trying to pierce through Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body swayed. He used the Kuan-Pong movement technique to the extreme. Damn it! If that's the case, I can only use that thing. His expression was extremely serious. It would be difficult to break through the 8th heaven with ordinary means. Then, he could only use the Emperor weapon to attack. In the 9th heaven, sacred weapons were not allowed. Therefore, he could not use the Great Destruction Spear or the Great Sage Pagoda. He could only rely on his own strength. He had the Great Dragon Sword Spirit. He could use everything. He was ready to use the Emperor weapon. He had seen a few Emperor weapons. For example, the Dragon Clan's Thousand Dragons diagram, Jade Lake's Desolate Tower, and even the Hongwu Emperor's Hidden Immortal Pagoda. Lin Xian was ready to use the Hidden Immortal Pagoda. He waved his hand and roared. The 9 Yang Divine Body was activated. The Chilan tattoo kept roaring. The laws of the five forms rushed out. The great dragon sword spirit in his body kept circulating. He waved his hand. He was going to form the hidden immortal pagoda in the eighth heaven. Then, he would break through the barrier of the eighth heaven and enter. The great dragon sword spirit could use everything. At this moment, it really formed an ancient pagoda in the eighth heaven. It could kill immortals and gods. The pagoda was too terrifying. The moment it appeared, the entire ninth heaven shook again. The people outside were completely stunned. Damn it! What happened? Could it be that someone really used a sacred weapon? The aura was too terrifying. The eyes of the Wushuang city's envoys shone with cold light. Fu Hongye was shocked. The elder was even more shocked. Through the array, they could see that there was no one in the eighth heaven. However, a pagoda appeared. The aura made their hair stand on end. Was that a sacred weapon? Damn it! Why would a sacred weapon appear? The disciples of Wushuang City screamed. However, the elder and Fu Hongye looked serious. Fu Hongye said that it was not a sacred weapon. It should be a sacred ability, right? That's right. The elder also nodded. It was something created by a sacred ability. It did not violate the rules. No way. His sacred ability could unleash such a terrifying aura. What kind of sacred ability was that? The disciples could not believe what they had just heard. They were disciples of the sacred city. They had seen everything. However, they had never heard of someone having such a heaven-defying ability. However, the elder's eyes were filled with disbelief. He said, "If I'm not wrong, he should be creating an emperor weapon." An emperor weapon? An extreme weapon? This kid could actually create an extreme weapon. Could it be that he had seen it before? These people were crazy. Chapter 36:49. That was an extreme-grade weapon. They had never seen one before. Not to mention them, even the second astral realm did not have one. How could someone from the first astral realm have seen such a thing? Don't underestimate the first astral realm, Fu Hongye said in a deep voice. Haven't you heard of the origin star? Are you saying that the origin star really exists? Everyone was shocked. It definitely exists, and it should be in the first astral realm. Not everyone could go there. It was a dangerous place. The elder looked solemn. They were from the holy city and had seen a lot. Although the first astral realm was not as powerful as their second astral realm, there were some places that were forbidden. Even a sage king would not dare to go there. Other than some forbidden zones, there were two places that were the most mysterious and terrifying in the universe. One was the origin star, and the other was the buried emperor star. One was the starting point, and the other was the end. These two worlds also had the most monarch clans, and they also had the most extreme Dao weapons. The monarch races gasped. It seemed that the first astral realm was more mysterious than they had imagined. He wondered if Lin Wudi had anything to do with the origin star. In the eighth heaven, the hidden divine pagoda came out and attacked fiercely. The eighth heaven rolled and trembled. Once, twice. On the 19th time, it finally broke through the eighth heaven and a crack appeared. That was great. Lin Xian roared and shot into the sky, entering the fissure. Brother Lin, you can do it. I'll wait for you outside. Xin Jingqiu called out, and then her figure disappeared from the seventh heaven. Boom, 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 boom. The people from Wushuang City were stunned. He went in. The kid actually went in. Oh God. Is he going to tie the record again? At that moment, even Fu Hongye was surprised. The kid had so many tricks up his sleeve. The onlookers were even more shocked. Did Lin Wudi really go in? Or did he fail? Impossible. He definitely could not have succeeded. In the Imperial Mausoleum, someone roared. In the next moment, he felt a fluctuation in the void above his head. Then, a figure appeared. He came out. Someone came out. And from the looks of it, it was above the Imperial Mausoleum. It should be Lin Wudi. He should have failed. Screams rang out one after another. They looked over carefully. Di Ling and the others looked up into the sky. In the next moment, they saw a figure appear above them. The other party was standing on an auspicious cloud and had an extremely beautiful appearance. A woman. It was Xin Jingqiu, the holy maiden of the spirit tribe. Everyone was stunned. They naturally knew who Shin Jingqiu was. Had she already reached the 7th layer of heaven? Could he be Lin Wudi? No, the other party was definitely not Lin Wudi. Lin Wudi was still inside and had not come out. Heavens! Everyone screamed. Di Ling's face darkened. Someone had stepped on his head, and it wasn't just one person. Not to mention Lin Wudi, just the fact that Shen Jingqiu had reached the 7th level of heaven was enough to make his lungs explode. As the leader of the 8 geniuses, he had never taken Shen Jingqiu seriously. But now, she had surpassed him. Ghostly, Shi Sui, Tian Chun, and the others were also stunned. After Shen Jingqiu came out, she was also speechless. She was now the highest. Di Ling had only reached the 6th level of heaven. This surprised her. Then, she smiled. Humph, what Di Ling? He was no match for Brother Lin. Clang. At this moment, a sound caught everyone's attention. Listen, there was a sound. Lin Wudi really didn't come out. He had reached the 8th level of heaven. Screams rang out one after another. Di Ling and the others' heads were about to explode. The 8th level of heaven. He had reached the 8th level of heaven. Damn it! Damn it! 1, 2, 3. Did the other party only make 3 sounds? It seemed that the 8th level of heaven was too difficult. Even someone as strong as Lin Wudi could only make 3 sounds. It seemed that he was still lacking compared to senior brother Linghu Chueshue. The people from Wushuang City heaved a sigh of relief. Fu Hongye's eyes lit up. Don't worry, this was just the beginning. That kid wouldn't give up so easily. Sure enough, after the 3 sounds, it was the 5 sounds, followed by the 7 sounds. At this moment, everyone was nervous. Would the other party be able to strike out the perfect 9 heavenly thunder sounds again? After the 7 sounds, there was no sound. Everyone was stunned. Could it be that this was the end? The elder from Wushuang City sighed. It was a pity. He was only 1 sound away from tying with Linghu Chueshue's record. He should have reached his limit. Fu Hongye sighed. However, at this moment, there was a continuous rumble between heaven and earth. Bolts of lightning struck the 9th level of heaven as if they were going to shatter it. What was going on? Where did the lightning come from? It was a lightning tribulation. Some of the older experts screamed. Someone had broken through in the 9th level of heaven. What? Did he break through? Who was so monstrous? They were extremely surprised. Di Ling and the others were also envious. Although comprehending the heavenly thunder sound had improved their understanding of the laws of heaven and earth and gave them a new understanding, their current strength had also improved compared to when they had just entered. However, none of them had broken through. That was because it was not that easy to break through at this stage. But now, someone had broken through. That was too heaven-defying. It was Lin Wudi. He had broken through. The people from Wushuang City looked at the array formation and were dumbfounded. Indeed, in the 8th level of heaven, countless bolts of lightning descended, striking Lin Xian until his skin was charred black. However, Lin Xian was not afraid at all. Instead, he looked up to the sky and laughed. That was great. He had broken through the 9 sounds all the way and had finally broken through. Come on. Lin Xian fought a bloody battle. Finally, his cultivation reached the mid-stage of the 2nd level of Sage. The process lasted for 5 days and 5 nights. Everyone waited patiently. The lightning tribulation in the sky disappeared. Everyone's eyes lit up. Was the breakthrough over? They wondered if it was Lin Wudi. What realm was he at now? Everyone was curious. Boom. Between heaven and earth, 9 sounds sounded at the same time. 9 sounds of heavenly thunder. The 8th 9 sounds of heavenly thunder was struck. Everyone went crazy. At that moment, they witnessed a miracle. The people from Wushuang City were even more dumbfounded. Someone had surpassed Linghu Chueshue's record. At the same time, he had also surpassed Fu Hongye's record. That was because Lin Wudi had continuously ascended to the 8th level and struck 9 sounds of heavenly thunder in the sky. That was equivalent to a new record for Wushuang City. At that moment, everyone was in an uproar. They sent the news back to Wushuang City. Wushuang City was also in a state of shock. Yet another figure had arrived. Chapter 3650. It was a man in snow-white robes. He had a small mustache and gave off a mature vibe. He was the eldest disciple of the first generation. His name was Linghu Chueshue, senior brother. When the people of Peerless City saw him, they all bowed. Even Fu Hongye bowed. Did someone break our record? Linghu Chueshue was shocked as he looked at the ninth heaven. The next moment, he took a deep breath. This kid is so strong. It seems that this time, Peerless City will welcome a new monster. Lin Xian's breakthrough and the 8 heavenly thunder 9 sounds he unleashed had completely shocked everyone. They all knew that a new monster was about to appear, but they were very curious about who it was. That kid should be coming out soon. Yes, he has already reached the 8th heaven. He probably won't be able to break through the 9th heaven. Legend has it that no one can break through it. Even the eldest disciple of Peerless City couldn't do it. He probably won't be able to reach the 9th heaven. Everyone was discussing intensely. They felt that it was about time for him to appear. The people of Peerless City also said, "Senior brother, do you think he can reach the 9th heaven?" When they asked this, their faces were also full of anticipation. Fu Hongye's eyes flickered. Linghu Chueshue also frowned slightly and said, "It's not certain. I've never seen anyone who can break my and junior brother Fu's record. Now that such a person has appeared, he might really be able to break it. Break the legend? Does senior brother Linghu think he can reach the 9th heaven?" The people of Peerless City were really shocked. Fu Hongye also nodded. It's possible that the 9th heaven isn't just a competition of strength, but more of the comprehension of the laws. This kid can produce 8 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. His comprehension of the laws is far beyond others. Therefore, he's really hopeful. Countless pairs of eyes looked towards the 9th heaven. At the 8th heaven, Lin Xian sat cross-legged and began to thoroughly comprehend. After 49 days, he opened his eyes. Then, he raised his head and looked at the 9th heaven. There was only one last heaven left. Lin Xian naturally wouldn't shrink back. No matter what, he would give it his all. In the 8th layer of heaven, he could feel that his laws had become stronger again, and the speed of this increase was extremely fast. It was much faster than the previous few heavens. Therefore, he thought that if he could step onto the last layer of heaven, then he might be able to break through again. This kind of opportunity was hard to come by for him. If he missed this opportunity, there would be too many men for him to break through in other places. His figure burst out and rushed to the 9 heavens. It collided with the 9 heavens. Sword chi rumbled all over his body, and the roar of the Qilin also appeared. Countless divine chains of laws hung down from the 9th heaven, releasing billions of rays of light. It was dazzling. The two collided, releasing a sonorous sound. Terrifying power erupted, shaking the 9 heavens. The people outside all held their breaths. They knew that Lin Wudi was trying to break through the last layer of heaven. At this moment, most people hoped that Lin Wudi would succeed, because they wanted to witness a legend. However, there were also a portion of people who were gnashing their teeth and praying in their hearts. Damn it, no, he must not succeed. Among them were Ghostly, Deling, and the others. Even if they were beaten to death, they didn't want the other party to succeed. Because if the other party succeeded, then he would be a legend. In the 9th heaven, Lin Xian was sent flying back, spitting out a mouthful of blood. The impact here was too strong. Even he couldn't withstand it, but he wouldn't let go. With a roar, the dragon sword spirit in his body surged crazily, and the dragon-shaped sword chi slashed in all directions. He rushed up once again. The laws of the 9 heavens became even more dazzling. It was as if a mortal light was constantly sweeping across. The two collided, and every strike was earth-shattering. The people of Peerless City felt their scalps go numb. This kid was really too terrifying. He could actually reach such a level. Fu Hongye and Linghu Chueshue also had solemn expressions. It was too forced. With Lin Xian's current state, he might not be able to break through. However, Lin Xian still had a trump card. With a wave of his hand, the phantom of the hidden immortal pagoda appeared and began to attack from above. He condensed the 10,000 dragons picture and attacked from below. The phantom of the two extreme weapons bloomed with billions of rays of light, and a powerful aura swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Boom, boom. This battle was earth-shattering. It had been 4 days and 4 nights, but Lin Xian still hadn't broken through. His body was covered in wounds, and his body was already broken. However, his eyes were getting brighter. Kill! Lin Xian roared crazily, and the sword chi on his body rushed out, completely enveloping the entire 8th heaven. At this moment, nothing could be seen. Even the people of Peerless City couldn't see through the array. They could only see a golden light, and they couldn't see Lin Xian's figure at all. It seemed that it was really too forced. Those people shook their heads. It had been 4 days and 4 nights, and he still hadn't broken through. This was probably the kid's limit. The spectators further away were also discussing. He was still 1 step away. There was no other way. The 9th heaven was a mythical existence, and no one could reach it. No matter how strong Lin Wuti was, he couldn't reach it. Yes, he was already very heaven-defying now. He had broken 2 records of Peerless City. Everyone felt that Lin Xian had stopped here. Di Ling, Ghostly, and the others snorted. Their expressions were cold. Although they were still unhappy, they knew that Lin Xian had stopped and couldn't enter the last heaven. They were gloating in their hearts. Buzz. At the 8th heaven, Lin Xian used the sword chi to envelop the entire space, and then he summoned the great dragon sword soul. On his hands, the 5 elemental laws revolved. He held the great dragon sword soul, and an unparalleled light burst out from his eyes. Explode! At this moment, he didn't hold back. The great dragon sword soul kept roaring, absorbing the power of heaven and earth, and began to explode. The green sword shadow roared between heaven and earth. At this moment, everyone felt their scalp go numb. An incomparably terrifying aura permeated the air. Damn it, what was that? Everyone went crazy. The people of Peerless City were also terrified. That kid, did he summon an extreme weapon again? Why was it so terrifying this time? Damn it, I can't see what he's doing with the golden light. He must have done it on purpose. Linghu Chueshue took a deep breath. This aura? Impossible. That kid actually has a trump card? Ghostly and the others' faces changed drastically. Shui Tianchen, Shi Fan, and the others were shocked. This power was really too strong. Previously, they were still unconvinced, thinking that they were careless last time and wanted to compete with Lin Wuti again. But now it seemed they didn't lose unjustly. Lin Xian's methods were too shocking. Even if they fought with Lin Xian again, they were afraid that they wouldn't be his opponent. At this moment, the people who were left in the 9th heaven were even more horrified. They trembled, kneeled on the ground, and kept worshipping, thinking that a god had come out. Chapter 36:51. Yu Qinya was still in the 4th layer of heaven. His face was full of despair, and he was awakened by the power. Damn it! How could this power be so strong? Who was this person? He was so frightened that he almost peed his pants. Lin Xian held the great dragon sword soul in his hand and split the sky open. At this moment, an unparalleled power erupted. At this moment, everyone thought that the end of the world had arrived. The roar between heaven and earth lasted for a few days before it gradually subsided. At the same time, they were excited. Did Lin Wuti succeed? Did he enter the last layer of heaven? The people of Wushuang City stared at the array. In the next moment, someone screamed. He really entered. In the 9th layer of heaven, in the originally empty space, a figure suddenly appeared. This person had cracks on his body and blood was flowing, but his eyes were incomparably cold with a bright light. It was Lin Xian. He went in. He actually went in. The people of Wushuang City were stunned. What an unbelievable kid. Fu Hongye was also very surprised. Although he was optimistic about Lin Xian, he did not expect Lin Xian to have such potential. It was completely out of his expectations. On the other side, Linghu Chueshue sucked in a breath of cold air. He was the only one who reached the 8th layer of heaven. He also tried to break through the 9th layer. However, he failed. He knew how terrifying the 9th layer of heaven was. It was not only about strength, but also something else. Therefore, no one could enter. But now, someone actually succeeded. It seemed that the days ahead would not be lonely. There was finally a top monster on the ancient path of heaven. On the other side, Diling, Guili, and the others went crazy. The other party succeeded. How could it be? They could not believe it. They could not accept it. They really did not expect that there was such a heaven-defying person beside them. In Stillwater Sky City, Shi Bufan, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others were also shocked. Now, they no longer had any hostility. Instead, it was replaced by a touch of panic. Wasn't it courting death to make an enemy of such a person? Xin Jingqiu squinted her crescent-shaped eyes. She was really happy. Brother Lin was really amazing. So this is the 9 heavens. I'm really curious. In the 9th layer of heaven, Lin Xian appeared. He felt the aura around him and was incomparably shocked. This kind of aura was very strange, and it couldn't be described with words. Lin Xian felt very comfortable here. It was as if the world had just been born. For a moment, he fell into an epiphany. Half a month later, he opened his eyes. So this was what he looked like. His eyes grew brighter and brighter, and he now completely understood some parts of the laws that he didn't understand. He had undergone a sublimation. Then, he began to walk in the void. Every time he landed, a golden lotus would rise from under his feet. This was the golden lotus of the Great Path. It was a manifestation of the great Tao of heaven and earth. If anyone else was here and saw this scene, they would definitely be so shocked that they would piss their pants. Lin Xian's comprehension of laws had actually reached such a level. Every step he took was accompanied by the sound of heavenly thunder. After 9 steps, 9 to 10 sounds of heavenly thunder were heard, circling the world. At the same time, a leaf floated over from the sky and landed in front of Lin Xian. The aura emitted from the leaf was really too mysterious. Lin Xian felt all the pores on his body open. This was the leaf of Tao Comprehension Tea. He was stunned. Tao Comprehension Tea was said to be a divine tree between heaven and earth. The leaves of Tao Comprehension Tea contain the great Tao of heaven and earth. If one could obtain it, it would definitely be a great opportunity. Rumor had it that only great emperors could find the true Tao Comprehension Tea. It was very difficult to find the rest. They could only obtain 1 or 2 leaves of Tao Comprehension Tea from ancient ruins or some forbidden grounds. He didn't expect that he would actually obtain a leaf of Tao Comprehension Tea in the 9 heavens. This was great. He placed the leaf of Tao Comprehension Tea between his eyebrows, sat down cross-legged, and began to comprehend. The people outside were also going crazy. The sound of heavenly thunder was heard again, and there were 9 of them. Not only did the other party enter the 9th layer of heaven, but he also struck out the 9th heavenly thunder 9 sounds. This was a kind of perfection. No one could do better than the other party. This was already a kind of extreme. Everyone was amazed. What kind of monster was this? Even the great emperors of ancient times were not like this when they were young. Everyone was extremely surprised by this. They didn't expect to see such a heaven-defying youth this time. They were afraid that when the other party grew up in the future, it was very likely that he would become a great emperor. All kinds of envious voices were heard. After the other geniuses heard it, their scalps went numb, and their faces were full of envy. The charm of the great emperors of ancient times? It was really too enviable. At the same time, they also had a kind of despair. It was the greatest misfortune to be born in the same era as such a monster. They were afraid that they would be suppressed by the other party for the rest of their lives. Damn it! How was this possible? Ghostly gritted his teeth, and his eyes were about to pop out. On the other side, Diling's face was also incomparably pale. The quality of the great emperors of ancient times? The other party was not qualified at all. His eyes burst with a biting cold killing intent. Kill the other party. He must take advantage of this opportunity to kill the other party. No one could surpass him. The fire of jealousy in his heart burned fiercely. On the other side, the people of Peerless City were also stunned. They didn't expect that the other party had not only broken 2 records, but also a new one. This record was probably the ultimate record. No one would be able to surpass it in the future. At most, it would be a tie. This guy was too monstrous. The corners of the Peerless City disciples' mouths twitched. The elder's face was also full of shock. Junior brother, what do you think? Ling Hu Chueshue asked. Fu Hongye's eyes burst with an incomparably shocking light. His current strength might not be as good as ours, but his talent is really too strong. He's ridiculously strong. I've never seen anyone like him. That's right. Linghu Chueshua also sighed. I've never admired anyone in the younger generation, but now, I actually have a trace of admiration for him. If he goes to the Three-Life Temple, what kind of storm will he cause? The second astral realm has been peaceful for too long. Even if some geniuses rise up, they can't threaten those people. But this time, I think this Lin Wuti will be able to disrupt the balance. Perhaps there will be a big reshuffle among the sacred cities. The two brilliant powerhouses were also shocked by Lin Xian's performance. Next, everyone waited patiently. They originally thought that the other party would come out soon, but they didn't expect that they would wait for half a year. It was unbelievable. Did the other party meditate for so long? However, half a year was enough for them to wait. The onlookers all wanted to know who Lin Wuti was, so they waited patiently. The geniuses who had already succeeded couldn't leave. They were still waiting to enter the next stage. During this time, everyone in ninth heaven came out. When they learned that there was still one person who hadn't come out, their faces were full of shock. Chapter 36:52. After Yuchinya came out, his face was gloomy. At this moment, he had recovered from his mental breakdown. He also knew that his mentality had collapsed, so now he was trying his best to regain his confidence. Otherwise, he would be even worse in the future. When he looked up, he saw Di Ling and the others standing far above him. Sixth heaven. This Di Ling was really too strong. Wait, why was there someone above Di Ling? Yuchinya went crazy again. He had collapsed before and did not know what had happened. In his opinion, Di Ling should be the strongest. But now, there was someone above Di Ling. Who was it? Damn it, it was the holy maiden of the spirit tribe, Shen Jingqiu. How could it be? He knew Shen Jingqiu's strength. She should be on par with him, maybe even weaker. But now, Shen Jingqiu was standing in the seventh heaven. Damn it, what happened? His face was full of shock. Where was that pretty boy? Where was that damn guy beside Shen Jingqiu? He looked carefully and found that Shen Jingqiu was the only one in the seventh heaven. He sighed in relief. He knew it. How could that pretty boy be so strong? But the other party had entered the fifth heaven, which was unbearable. Under Yuchinya's gaze, he subconsciously looked towards the fifth layer of heaven. He saw Shi Sui, Tianqing, Shi Bufan, and a few others, but there was no sign of Lin Xian. How could it be? Could it be that kid? He was shocked, but he found that there were only two people in the sixth heaven, Di Ling and Guili. Where was that kid? Could it be that he died in there? He was really too surprised. He looked around and still did not find any trace of the other party. Could it be that the kid was eliminated? Thinking of this, he was so excited that he was about to cry. That's great. That brat was still showing off. Now he's finally eliminated, right? At this time, the person next to him said, "Oh, that Lin Wuti is still not out. What is he doing inside? He should still be comprehending. It is really enviable. What? There is still someone not out." Yuchinya instantly became nervous. It seemed that there was still someone in the ninth heaven. Who was it? Could it be that kid? Somehow, Lin Xian's figure appeared in his mind. Impossible. He roared madly in his heart. It was definitely not that kid. According to the discussions of the surrounding people, the one who remained inside was a top genius, someone who had surpassed the imperial mausoleum. Now, he had stepped into the ninth heavenly layer. Such a person was truly dazzling. He had the bearing of an ancient great emperor. How could such a person be that gigolo? However, Lin Xian was no longer around, which made him uneasy. Just like that, he waited for several months. Finally, on this day, the world changed once again. Above the nine heavens, lightning once again poured down in torrents. This time, it was even more violent than before. Did he break through again? Everyone was in an uproar. They had seen this once before. Damn it! Lin Wuti still wanted to break through in half a year. Everyone went crazy. The mouths of the people from Peerless City twitched. The people in the Imperial Mausoleum were so jealous that they almost fainted. Motherf asterisk Kerr, this was not some cabbage making a breakthrough. This was a breakthrough in the Saint realm. How difficult was it to make a breakthrough in the Saint realm? Everyone here had experienced it firsthand. Previously, Lin Xian had made a breakthrough in the ninth heavenly layer, which made them extremely envious. Now, he had broken through again. It had only been half a year. They had never heard of a saint who could make 2 consecutive breakthroughs in half a year. It was simply amazing. Even Fu Hongye and Ling Hu Chueshue had strange looks in their eyes. Wasn't he too monstrous? This time, the lightning tribulation was extremely violent and lasted for more than 10 days. Just when everyone thought that it was going to subside, the lightning tribulation suddenly erupted even more violently, making everyone's scalp tingle. What was Lin Wudi doing in there? He was going to be struck by lightning twice. Di Ling gritted his teeth. Motherf asterisk Kerr, you better be struck to death. After another half a month, the lightning that filled the sky finally disappeared. A figure walked out of the ninth heavenly layer. He's out, someone shouted. At that moment, countless sages turned their gazes towards the sky. The onlooking powerhouses, the sky prides who had already passed, Di Ling, Geely, Shi Bufan, and the people from Peerless City all focused on a single figure. It was him. Everyone was dumbfounded. Was he Lin Wudi? That was impossible. Wasn't he a gigolo who lived off a woman? Damn it. How could he be Lin Wudi? Screams of terror rang out one after another. At this moment, other than the people from Peerless City, everyone else started screaming, because they finally saw Lin Wudi's figure. Lin Wudi was the person beside Shun Jingqiu. He was Shun Jingqiu's husband. That was unbelievable. Wasn't Shun Jingqiu's husband a gigolo? Wasn't he a level 2 saint? It was said that he was an ant from the first astral realm. How could he be such a monstrous genius? They couldn't believe it. However, the other party was now standing above the ninth heavenly layer, looking down on them. They had no choice but to accept this fact. It was him. It was actually him. Shi Bufan, Shi Sui, Tian Chun, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others were dumbfounded. They didn't expect the person who defeated them to be Shan Jingqiu's husband. It was actually this kid. Geely and Di Ling were also stunned. Previously, they had looked at Lin Xian with disdain. They thought he was an ant. But now, the other party was above their heads, looking down on them like a god. They couldn't accept the difference in their mentality. Damn it, they vomited blood. Moreover, what shocked them even more was that the other party was a level 2 saint before. A level 2 saint was actually able to break the legend. They were going crazy with jealousy. Yu Qinya was even more scared. How could it be this person? He was most familiar with Lin Xian, because Lin Xian was someone the Yu clan wanted to kill. When Lin Xian escorted Yu Siki back, the Yu clan didn't put him in their eyes at all. They even wanted to kill him mercilessly. Now, not only was he alive, but he was also a monstrous genius. Could it be that the 9 heavenly thunder 9 sounds were all from him? Yu Qinya spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. He was furious. He was about to die from anger. If he wasn't a saint, he would have been angered to the 18th level of hell. Brother Lin really did it. Shun Jingqiu was filled with endless joy. Brother Lin actually broke through to level 3 saint. Suddenly, Shun Jingqiu exclaimed. She realized that Lin Xian wasn't a level 2 late stage, but a level 3 early stage. It was too unbelievable. The others also realized this and were dumbfounded. Why do I remember that when this kid first entered level 9, he was a level 2 saint? Yes, level 3 early stage. After half a year, he actually became a level 3 early stage. Damn it, in less than a year, he broke through a big realm. Everyone went crazy. Chapter 36:53. Thinking of this, the sage's eyes turned red. One had to know that they might not even be able to break through a small realm in a few hundred years. Some were even stuck for thousands of years. To break through a large realm, it might not even be possible in a few thousand years. But now, Lin Fan had done it in a year. It was unbelievable. Even the top 8 geniuses could not believe it. As the top 8 geniuses, they had strong bloodlines and were supported by big families. But even so, it was impossible for them to break through a realm in a year. Like Yu Qinya, he had spent a lot of effort and resources to achieve it, and he had only broken through a small realm. But now, Lin Fan had broken through a realm in a year. Even the geniuses of the holy city wouldn't be able to do that. Some of the older generation were also amazed. It turned out that Lin Fan had broken through 2 realms in the 9th heaven. It was no wonder that when the lightning tribulation was about to disappear, it suddenly went berserk. That's right, Lin Xian had broken through 2 realms in a row, and finally became a 3rd heaven sage. He had a confident smile on his face as he looked around. This was great. This time, not to mention whether he could become a disciple of the holy city, just this breakthrough alone was enough to make him ecstatic. After becoming a 3rd heaven sage, his strength had undergone an earth-shattering change. He looked down, and when he saw Di Ling and Gue Li, his lips curled into a disdainful smile. If these 2 people made him wary before, and he had to deal with them with all his might, but now, he did not take them to heart. Damn it! Di Ling and Gue Li saw Lin Xian's expression, and their faces darkened. They were actually looked down on by him. It was infuriating. At this time, the elder from Peerless City stood up and said loudly, "All right, the first round of the test is over. Those who have successfully reached the 9th heaven, follow me. You will proceed to the next round of the test." After that, those who had succeeded soared into the sky and flew forward quickly. Shun Jingqiu was the first to come to Lin Xian's side, and her eyes were sparkling. "Big brother Lin, you are so handsome." Di Ling, Gue Li, and the rest also came over. They looked at Lin Xian, and their eyes shone with a cold light. "Brat, don't be complacent. Don't be too arrogant. The 9 heavens is not all about strength. Otherwise, do you think you can reach the top?" "That's right. That's what I wanted to say as well. Your good days are over. Because you have already angered me, and no one can step on my head. You can't do it either." Di Ling looked at Lin Xian, his eyes filled with killing intent. "In the 2nd stage, I will let you know what true strength is. Don't think that just because you've comprehended some laws, you can compare to me. You're still far from it." The onlookers in the distance were extremely shocked when they saw this scene. Heaven, Ghostly, and Di Ling were all eyeing this kid. The 2nd stage would be even more intense. That was for sure. The 1st stage was a test of one's talent, bloodline, and comprehension of the great Tao. He let that kid take the lead. But if they really fought, that brat was absolutely not Di Ling's match. Di Ling had many trump cards in his hands. Not to mention the sacred weapon, he had a bronze coffin hidden in his body. Once that thing came out, how could that brat block it? Indeed, if it was a duel, no one thought that Lin Xian could defeat Di Ling. Jilian could not even defeat Ghostly. After all, Ghostly had a sacred weapon in his hands. At this moment, Yu Qinya also jumped out. He also laughed sinisterly. "Brat, I won't let you off either. In a real fight, you're also not my match." He was really mad. Previously, the other party made him collapse and despair. Only now did he recover. He swore that as long as there was a chance, he would not hesitate to kill the other party. The other party was now a 3rd heaven sage, but he was still 1 realm lower than him. It seemed that this brat had offended many people. Fu Hongye narrowed his eyes. Ling Hu Chueshue laughed. "No matter, competition is a good thing. Bring them to the next stage." As he said that, the surrounding Wushuang city disciples quickly came to the void and each took a side. Their palms formed a seal, and they formed a teleportation array. They brought these people and disappeared into the sky. Did they leave? The onlookers below were in an uproar. It seemed that the 2nd stage was not held here. It was held somewhere else. They could not watch anymore. However, these people did not leave. They all set up camp. They wanted to wait. Wait until the final result was out. After all, the result was very important to each of their families. The array flickered. After the light disappeared, Lin Xian and the others found that they had arrived at another place. There were buildings and streets all around. It seemed that they had arrived at a city. Someone screamed. Could it be that they had arrived at Wushuang City? That's right. A Wushuang City disciple said that they had indeed arrived at Wushuang City. Then, he briefly explained Wushuang City. After hearing that, the others were shocked. Lin Xian was also surprised. A holy city was as big as 2 worlds. It was really shocking. Not only that, there were countless subsidiary worlds under Wushuang City. It was very enviable. In this assessment, we will accept 3 types of disciples. The best are the core disciples. There are not many of them, a total of 72 people. The quota is fixed. Therefore, you can only become a core disciple if you fight for the top 72. The treatment of the core disciples is very good. It is definitely not inferior to the patriarchs and sect masters of the outside world. Moreover, it is the most central power of Wushuang City. The direct disciples of the Holy King will be selected from the core disciples. This time, the first place will be the chief disciple. He has the highest status among the 3rd-generation disciples. He is also the one who has the highest chance of becoming a direct disciple. If you have the strength, try your best to fight for it. Don't miss this opportunity. Below the core disciples are the ordinary disciples. Their treatment is not as good as the core disciples, but it is better than the elders of the outside world. Don't worry. Hearing that, countless people's eyes lit up. The forces of the outside world, such as the Rain Clan, were all big families. However, it was still not comparable to the treatment of the Rain Clan's elders in Wushuang City. One could imagine how terrifying Wushuang City's strength was. It was no wonder that so many big families wanted to send their disciples in. Of course, not everyone could become an ordinary disciple. If they failed the second assessment, they could only become a nominal disciple. Nominal disciples were not real disciples of the Holy City. They had to be assessed again in a few months. As long as they passed the assessment, they could be promoted to an ordinary disciple. If they failed the assessment 3 times, they would lose their qualification and leave the Holy City. Hearing that, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Heavens, there was the danger of being eliminated. They thought that they could become an ordinary disciple after passing the first assessment. Who would have thought that it was not that simple? Chapter 3654. This time, Wushuang City's assessment had gathered the elites of countless worlds. There were about a few 100 million people participating, and only about 10,000 people could step into the first heaven. Among these 10,000 people, only 72 of them were core disciples. It was not certain how many ordinary disciples there were left. Moreover, there could be vacancies among the core disciples. For example, if only 30 people met the requirements, then there would only be 30 core disciples. The remaining positions would all be empty and would not be inherited by the weak. It was that cruel. I wonder what the second round is about? Sure, Buffon asked. Everyone else was curious as well. After saying so much, they were most concerned about what the second round was about. Wushuang City doesn't care about your current cultivation level or strength. What we care about is your talent. This includes innate talent, such as bloodline and physique. There are also some acquired talents, such as strong will, comprehension of special laws, and comprehension of the great Tao. As long as you are a genius, we will accept you. Therefore, the second round is still about you. We will bring you to a place called the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. It is a very special place. The Copper Sparrow Pavilion is a world of laws created by the Sage King. Inside, your cultivation level will be suppressed. You will be suppressed to the early stage of the first heaven of the Sage King. Everyone will be the same to ensure fairness. Moreover, you will not be able to use your own divine powers. You can only use the martial arts in the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. This way, we will test your talent and see who can cultivate the divine powers the best in the same amount of time. The second round is actually like this. Everyone gasped. They originally thought that they would have to fight in the arena. They did not expect that it would be so special that they would go to a small world created by the Sage King. There were a total of 12 sky steels, 36 earth steels, and 108 Xian steels in the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. Then what is the basis? Is it the ranking of the first round? Someone asked. As soon as this was said, everyone became nervous. If it was really based on the ranking, then the people who fell behind would suffer. The elder shook his head. It's not based on the ranking. Don't worry, Wushuang City will give you the greatest fairness. Everyone can freely choose the divine powers on these steels to cultivate. The time is also the same. However, don't think that the ranking is not important. There are a total of 3 rounds. The total ranking of the 3 stages would be the final ranking, and each stage would have a specific reward. The first place of each stage will be given a leaf of Tao Comprehension tea. As for the others, they were all ranked according to their rankings. These rewards would be distributed at the end of the 3 tests. The leaf of the Tao Comprehending tea. Heavens! He was actually so generous. Many people's eyes turned red. These people were all young masters in their respective families, but they didn't have the chance to obtain the Tao Comprehension tea leaves. Not to mention them, even their family heads didn't have the chance to obtain it. That was because this item was simply too precious. The amount was very small, and it would be divided among countless holy cities. Each holy city would not get much. These 3 might have been left behind after thousands of years of accumulation. Now, they actually wanted to use such treasures as rewards. It really provoked these people. Lin Xian was equally surprised. How could there be such a good thing? He had already experienced the enlightenment tea leaves once before. That time, he had directly advanced by 2 small realms, reaching the 3rd heavenly layer. Unexpectedly, there was still more. These 3 enlightenment tea leaves must be mine. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with an extremely cold light. The others were also incomparably excited. Di Ling is ambitious. Although I fell behind in the 1st round, I must obtain the 2nd and 3rd round. Hee, enlightenment tea leaves? How surprising. I'll accept such a good thing. The corners of Ghost Li's mouth raised into a smile. In addition, although Shi Bufan, Shi Sui Tianqing, and the others did not say anything, it was obvious that they were also determined to obtain it. Soon, everyone arrived at the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. The Copper Sparrow Pavilion was as tall as an ancient building. Everyone knew that it was a world of its own. Sure enough, after entering, they found that it was much wider inside, as if it was a world of its own. Indeed, their cultivation was completely suppressed by the laws of heaven and earth here, and they couldn't use their other divine abilities. Damn, I can't even use my bloodline power. The laws of heaven and earth here are really amazing. It seemed that they could only use their newly learned divine abilities. Everyone was surprised. This was indeed fair enough. Hee, in terms of talent, none of you are my match. Di Ling snorted coldly. His cultivation was the highest, and he was the strongest. It was enough to show that his talent was super strong. Ghostly sneered. Is that so? That might not be the case. Don't be trampled under my feet when the time comes. The others also clenched their fists, especially those who were ranked at the bottom. If they really fought according to actual combat, they had no hope. But now, everyone was at the same starting line. They might have a chance. I heard that there are 12 divine monuments. Go quickly. I must learn the divine abilities on the divine monuments. The divine abilities there were the strongest. Many people ran forward. With more than 10,000 people, it did not seem crowded at all. Instead, it was a little spacious. Sure enough, there were stone monuments around. There were a total of 12 shining with golden light. They were divine monuments. 36 shining with purple light. They were earthly monuments. 108 shining with blue light. They were mystic monuments. There were indeed martial arts and divine abilities on these stone monuments, but they were all different. Some were very detailed, some were just a few strokes, as if they could only be understood but not explained. There were all kinds of strange divine abilities. You have 3 months to comprehend it. After 3 months, you will begin the battle. Those who succeed will advance to the next stage of the test. Those who fail will be disqualified. They will be classified as honorary disciples. After half a year, they will take the test again. The voice rang out between heaven and earth. Everyone's expression changed. What? Failure means disqualification. How could it be like this? Everyone went crazy. Previously, they were very confident and wanted to become a core disciple. But now, there was a problem. That was, the person who failed would immediately become an in-name disciple. This was really too unbelievable. One must know that with more than 10,000 people, at least half of them would be eliminated. It was really too cruel. All right, as for the specific rules of the battle, we will talk about it after 3 months. Now, you should hurry up and think about how to cultivate your divine abilities in these 3 months. For martial artists from Wushuang City also followed in. They were fighting on one side, and it seemed like they were guarding the order. Hurry up and comprehend. Everyone was in a hurry, because from this moment on, time had already started counting down. They only had 3 months. Everyone was definitely rushing towards the 12 divine monuments. Because the divine monuments were the least, the martial arts and divine abilities were the most precious. Guili, Diling, and the rest were also very fast. They were like flowing lights rushing to the front. They each occupied a divine monument and then looked at it. Get lost. Diling roared. The aura on his body exploded, causing the surrounding people to be unable to breathe. Chapter 36:55. Although everyone's cultivation was suppressed, Di Ling's name was deeply imprinted in their minds. Hence, they couldn't help but back off. Trash like you think you have the right to comprehend the sky steel with me? Get lost, or I'll kill you. Di Ling's voice was cold and filled with killing intent. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. It's over. What they were worried about the most had happened. If the 8 Sky Prides joined forces to seal the Sky Steel, no one else would have the right to comprehend it. Indeed, the other Sky Prides also rushed towards the Sky Steel and occupied one of the Sky Steels. Yu Qinya let out a sinister laugh and abruptly turned around to glance at Lin Xian. This is great. If he could join forces with Di Ling and the others to suppress Lin Xian, he wouldn't be able to cultivate the Sky Steel. In that case, they would definitely win the second round. Countless people were shocked by the scene. They looked at Lin Xian and wanted to see what Lin Xian would do, because Lin Xian wasn't one of the 8 Sky Prides. Moreover, he was enemies with some of the 8 Sky Prides. If Lin Xian were to take action, they could help him. At least, they couldn't let the 8 Sky Prides be so arrogant. Xin Jingqiu said the same thing. Damn it, these guys are too evil. They actually joined forces to seal the Sky Steel. Brother Lin, let's do it together. Lin Xian smiled. Qiu, don't be anxious. Didn't I say it before? The second round is absolutely fair. Do you think they can do it without breaking the rules? Indeed, a Wushuang City martial artist shouted coldly from afar. Everyone can comprehend the Sky Steel. No one can occupy it. Those who dare to violate the rules will be expelled and disqualified. The moment he said that, the crowd went into an uproar. Many of them were excited. Great. As for the 8 Sky Prides, such as Yu Qinya and Di Ling, their faces turned ugly. Damn it, there was such a condition. They couldn't accept it. However, they didn't dare to do anything. If they dared to go against the Wushuang City people, they would probably be expelled immediately. Hee. So what if they could comprehend the Sky Steel? The divine ability on the heavenly steel was not something that anyone could comprehend. Di Ling sneered. Ghostly also raised a ferocious smile. Yu Qinya gritted his teeth. What a pity. This was originally a great opportunity to deal with Lin Xian, but who would have thought that it would be resolved in an instant? Quickly go and comprehend it. The surrounding saints all rushed forward and began to choose their own Sky Steels. Lin Xian and Shun Jingqiu also left in the morning. Kid, I'll let you know how powerful I am. Just you wait, in 3 months, I will make you kneel and beg for mercy. Yu Qinya gritted his teeth while Lin Xian waved his hand impatiently. What were they shouting for? If they had the time, they might as well spend it on comprehending the stone tablets. Right now, he didn't place Yu Qinya in his eyes at all. It could even be said that he was ignoring the other party. Damn it, I'm so angry. The other party's indifferent expression made Yu Qinya so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. However, now was not the time to make a move. He could only grit his teeth and look at the divine ability on the heavenly steel. Lin Xian also glanced at the 12 heavenly steels and revealed a solemn expression. One had to admit that the divine abilities on the 12 heavenly steels were indeed powerful. There were close combat, long-range attacks, saber, sword, fist, and kick. There was a type of each type, and there was even an eye technique. However, it was not easy to comprehend because these divine abilities were too simple. There were only a few strokes. One could only know what divine ability it was at first glance. However, if one wanted to cultivate it, they would not be able to figure it out. For a moment, everyone's eyes flickered as they started to ponder seriously. Shen Jingqiu frowned. Why couldn't she understand it? This was not something that could be comprehended in a short period of time. The 12 heavenly steels recorded the top divine abilities. It would be too difficult to learn it in 3 months. Lin Xian shook his head. He was not in a hurry to cultivate it. He wanted to understand it more thoroughly. Then, he looked at the 36 earthly steels. These 36 earthly steels also recorded exquisite divine abilities. Looking at the power, it seemed to be weaker than the 12 heavenly steels. However, it was more detailed than the 12 heavenly steels. At least it was enough to make one scratch their heads. Next, Lin Xian looked at the 108 heavenly steels. This time, the divine abilities recorded on them were very detailed. Every step was recorded. Martial artists could follow the instructions and cultivate step by step. The 3 types of stone steels were different. They had different powers, and the difficulty of cultivation was also different. The time was also specific. It was only 3 months. Then, in these 3 months, the most important thing was not to occupy the divine abilities on the heavenly steels, but to increase one's combat strength as much as possible. In this way, there would be a problem of distribution. It seemed that the second stage was not that simple. Lin Xian's lips curled up into a smile. He now understood a little. The second stage was not only testing one's talent, but also one's choice. 10,000 people, faced with such a scene, had 10,000 choices. How to choose to maximize one's combat strength. There was a lot of knowledge in this. Were there any connections between the 3 types of stone steels? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He found a sword technique and looked at it on the heavenly steels. There was a sword technique called Sword of 100 Battles. This was a very strange sword technique. It could transform into various demonic beasts and terrifying heavenly anomalies to fight. It was a little similar to the evolution of the Great Dragon Sword Soul. However, the Great Dragon Sword Soul could transform into anything. As for the 100 Battle Sword, it could only transform into specific things for battle. Lin Xian took a look and realized that it could transform into 15 different demonic beasts. Each of them was extremely terrifying. Then, he looked for a similar divine ability on the 36 earthly steels. This divine ability was called Psychic Hand. It could instantly set up some formations and then attack with the help of the heavenly steels. This was a palm technique. The palm would form a formation and obtain some characteristics of the demonic beasts. For example, it would be extremely strong or extremely soft. Lin Xian realized that this psychic hand was somewhat similar to the Sword of 100 Battles. Then, he began to look at the 12 heavenly steels. The 12 heavenly steels were very simple. It seemed to contain the simplicity of the Great Tao. It was impossible to understand. However, Lin Xian could still see some things clearly. For example, he saw one of the heavenly steels. There were only 3 Tao patterns carved on it. However, Lin Xian seemed to be able to see that it was a person summoning something from heaven and earth. It seemed to be something like a soul. In this way, Lin Xian felt that it was somewhat similar to the previous 2 divine abilities. It could be said that it was an upgraded version. There was indeed some connection. He narrowed his eyes. In this way, if he wanted to cultivate the divine ability on the heavenly steels, he could first cultivate the heavenly steels and the earthly steels. Then, he could cultivate the divine ability on the heavenly steels. After thinking about this point, Lin Xian took a deep breath and prepared to take action. He sent a voice transmission to Shen Jingqiu and told her what had happened. After Shen Jingqiu heard it, she was also surprised. Was this true? He looked around and found that there was indeed some connection. In that case, let's hurry up and cultivate. The 2 of them walked towards the 108 heavenly steels. Chapter 3656. At this moment, everyone was trying their best to cultivate the divine steel's divine powers. Even the earthly steel was rarely visited. As for Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu, they squeezed through the crowd and walked towards the Xian steel. This scene shocked countless people. No way. Isn't that Lin Wudi and the holy goddess of the spirit clan, Jingqiu? Why did they leave? Don't they want to comprehend the divine steel? No idea. Could it be that they want to comprehend the earthly steel? The competition there is less. They looked carefully and found that the two had walked past the earthly steel and came to the Xian steel. Suddenly, these people went crazy. God, they actually chose the Xian steel. How is this possible? The Xian steel looks like the weakest divine powers. These people simply couldn't understand what Lin Wudi was doing. Some people sneered when they saw this. Yu Qinya snorted. Idiot. He actually chose the trashy Xian steel. He really doesn't know what's good for him. He was too excited. If Lin Xian chose the divine steel, he would be under great pressure. But he chose the Xian steel. This way, he had absolute confidence that after 3 months, he could kill Lin Xian to his heart's content. Ghostly sneered when he saw this. Di Ling was even more disdainful. What Lin Wudi? He didn't even have the courage to choose the divine steel. He probably knew that he didn't have the talent to comprehend it. What a joke. If he's like this, I can kill him with one hand in the second round. Di Ling was also ambitious. In his opinion, Lin Xian should know that he couldn't comprehend the divine steel, so he chose the easiest Xian steel. Shi Bufan, Shi Sui Tianchen, Wang Xiaofeng and the others were also puzzled. It shouldn't be. Lin Wudi was so powerful, they all knew. Why did he choose the Xian steel? Could it be that there was another mystery? Wang Xiaofeng said to Shi Sui Tiancheng. She didn't know what he was doing and didn't know what he found. But I won't leave. My eye of Shi Sui can be used here. I want to comprehend it more efficiently than others. These top experts didn't leave because they had absolute confidence in themselves. With the best things available, why would they settle for the second best? The 4 warriors from Wushuang City who were standing in 4 different directions were surprised when they saw this scene. Could it be that this brat had found out? They were also looking forward to seeing how the peerless genius who had set a new record in the first round would perform in the second round. Lin Xian arrived in front of the 108 Xian tablets. He chose the Sword of 100 Battles because this sword technique was very similar to the Great Dragon Sword Spirit simulation effect. If he wanted to cultivate, it would definitely be a piece of cake. Chiu-er, these 3 stone steels are all connected to one another. Choose a cultivation technique that you like and cultivate accordingly. The effects should be very good. After saying that, Lin Xian began to cultivate. Shen Jingqiu nodded. She also chose a cultivation method to cultivate. It had to be said that the sword technique Lin Xian had chosen was very suitable for him. Therefore, he quickly finished cultivating and stood up with a smile on his face. Next, it was time to comprehend the psychic hand. Lin Xian looked at the 36 earthly tablets and started to comprehend them. The heavenly tablets were still very lively. However, after a few days, some people collapsed. No, they couldn't comprehend it at all. Yes, it was too difficult. They felt that they couldn't figure out the direction. Some people were going crazy. Some people felt that they had to change their strategy. Therefore, they gave up on the heavenly tablets and started to cultivate the 36 earthly tablets. There were also some people who insisted that they would be able to comprehend it after a period of time. However, after a month, most of them were in despair. They now knew that the heavenly tablets weren't easy to comprehend. If they continued to waste time, they wouldn't be able to learn any of the superpowers. If that happened, they wouldn't be able to fight at all. They would only be beaten up. Therefore, these people retreated. Some of them chose the 36 earthly tablets. Some of them even wanted to start cultivating the 108 Xian tablets like Lin Xian. However, there were a few people who didn't move. They were the other 7 of the 8 great geniuses. There were 5 other people who weren't part of the 8 great geniuses. These people were very confident in themselves. They stood in front of the heavenly tablets and continued to comprehend. Although these people's faces were very serious, they didn't look good. It was obvious that they didn't make much progress. However, they believed that once they comprehended a move or two, their power would definitely surpass everyone else. Another half a month passed. Lin Xian stood up. He had mastered the psychic hand. Next, he would have to comprehend the heavenly tablets. It was the summoning superpowers that he had seen previously. Thinking of this, he walked forward. Lin Xian's arrival shocked everyone. What was going on? Lin Wudi came to the heavenly tablets again. Could it be that he wanted to comprehend the heavenly tablets? Heavens, he didn't want to comprehend it at first. Now that there was only 1.5 months left, could he comprehend it completely? Everyone was shocked. Then, they shook their heads and ignored him. They couldn't understand Lin Xian's actions. The only one who understood was probably Shen Jingqiu. At this moment, Shen Jingqiu was also comprehending one of the 36 earthly tablets. She would soon comprehend it, probably in another 3 to 5 days. She would also go to the heavenly tablets. Lin Xian came to the heavenly tablets and sat down cross-legged. He started to comprehend it. His arrival surprised the geniuses at the heavenly tablets. Why was this kid here again? Shui Tianchun and the rest were confused. Yu Qinya snorted. You're courting death. Do you have time to comprehend it completely? To him, it was a waste of time. Di Ling's eyes were filled with disdain. Lin Xian was trying to comprehend the same heavenly tablets as him. Was he courting death? Well, he would use the same superpowers to torture Lin Xian to death. Time passed slowly. The geniuses at the heavenly tablets tried their best to comprehend as many superpowers as possible. Some of them even started to comprehend the earthly tablet's superpowers. However, the geniuses at the heavenly tablets did not do anything. Because if they could comprehend one heavenly tablet in 3 months, it would be great. Finally, another 1.5 months passed, and the 3 months were up. On this day, a voice was heard. Then, a martial artist from Wushuang City said that the time was up and no one was allowed to comprehend it. As soon as he said that, the heavenly tablets shone brightly and nothing could be seen anymore. Sigh. Many people sighed. They had not comprehended enough yet. This was a great opportunity for them to learn Wushuang City's superpowers. However, there was nothing they could do. The time was up and they could not comprehend it. The 8 great geniuses stood up as well. They looked extremely solemn. The 3 months of comprehension was indeed a unique experience for them. They had never comprehended such a magical superpower under such a tense situation. They wondered how powerful it would be in the end. Chapter 36:57. Brat, don't ever meet me. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. Yu Qinya's eyes were filled with killing intent. This time, he had absolute confidence. He believed that the divine art he unleashed would be able to kill his opponent. Finally, it was time for revenge. He wanted to prove to everyone that he was a genius and his opponent was just a lucky piece of trash. Ghostly looked at Lin Xian and smiled coldly. Di Ling snorted coldly. The first place of this round will definitely be me. You are not my opponent at all. The last time he was surpassed by his opponent was the greatest humiliation in his life. So this time, no matter what, he would trample his opponent under his feet. The others felt their scalps go numb. It seemed that the 8 geniuses were really confident. What kind of power would the divine ability they comprehended be? At this time, the 4 Wushuang City warriors walked out and said coldly, "All right, let's start the test. Follow me." They left the area where the stone tablet was and came to another area. This area was very spacious and it was still within the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. The test this time was very simple. You can choose your opponent and you can only fight one-on-one. If you succeed, you will advance to the next round. If you fail, you will be eliminated and immediately become an in-name disciple. However, although it was a one-on-one battle, the winner could continue to fight with others. Everyone can fight at least once and at most 5 times. You should understand, right? Hearing this, many people's faces changed. What? You can challenge 5 people in a row. Their expressions were filled with fear. If Di Ling was such an expert, he would be able to defeat all 5 of them. That would mean that 5 of them would be eliminated. Damn it, if that's the case, not even half of the people would be left. Previously, they thought that the elimination rate was only 50%. But now, it seemed that was not the case. If an expert was really ruthless and joined forces, most of the people would be eliminated. The originally cruel situation had now become even more cruel. Yu Qinya, Ghostly, Di Ling, and the others revealed a sinister smile. It was great to be able to challenge 5 people. Yu Qinya jumped out first and stared at Lin Xian. Brat, Come here and die. I will ruthlessly trample you under my feet. Lin Xian shook his head. I refuse. Fight with him? What a joke. He was not interested at all. Puff. Yu Qinya spat out a mouthful of old blood. He refused. Damn it. He was looking down on him. Brat, are you a man? If you have the guts, fight with me. You are too weak. I'm not interested. Lin Xian was still shaking his head. Damn it. I will kill you. I'll kill you. Yu Qinya was completely. I'm too weak. Not interested. Brat. He thought Qinya was a saint. Isn't that hitting a stone with an egg? Everyone went crazy. In their knowledge, the Sky Steel's divine ability was the strongest and the Xin Steel's divine ability was the weakest. The only thing that could fight against the Sky Steel's divine ability was another Sky Steel's divine ability. But now, Lin Wuti actually used a divine ability from the Xin Steel to fight against the divine ability. Ghostly sneered. So, he's an idiot. I wanted to play with him, but now I'm not interested. Di Ling snorted coldly. How can I fight against such a person? What a joke. The first place of the second round will be mine. Yu Qinya laughed loudly. He laughed until tears came out. You're courting death. How dare you fight against me with such a divine ability from the Sky Steel? His eyes were filled with killing intent. Even if he could not kill Lin Wuti, he had to severely injure him. He wanted to torture Lin Wuti until he wished he was dead. The sky-piercing finger was extremely terrifying. It was as if it could pierce a hole in the sky. It was too easy to kill Lin Wuti. But in the next moment, he was stunned. Not only him, but everyone else was also stunned. The icy cold aura from the ice-field giant bear directly sealed the sky-piercing finger. Not only that, the ice-field giant bear rushed over with its powerful physique and slammed into Yu Qinya's body. Bang! Yu Qinya was pushed back. With a bang, a huge crack spread. Yu Qinya was also pushed back. He spat out blood, and a thick layer of frost appeared on his body. Chapter 36:58. What? Yu Qinya was pushed back, and the surrounding people were stunned. How was that possible? The mystical tablet divine ability had fought against the divine tablet divine ability and won. That was unbelievable. Could it be that Lin Wuti had the ability to turn something rotten into something magical? Damn it. What was Yu Qinya doing? Ghostly frowned. Di Ling sneered. Don't worry, that was just the first move. Maybe Yu Qinya was careless, but if he got serious, Yu Qinya would definitely die. Yu Qinya stopped, his face was gloomy, and his handsome face turned sinister. Damn it, how dare you hurt me? I'll kill you. Careless, he was indeed careless. He thought that Lin Wuti's divine ability was weak, but he did not expect Lin Wuti to have some tricks up his sleeve. Kid, you're not bad to be able to cultivate the mystical tablet divine ability to such a level. But that's your limit. My divine tablet divine ability is not something you can compare to. I'll definitely kill you with my next move. Next move? You still want to kill me? What a joke. I can defeat you with my next move. You'll be eliminated and become a nominal disciple. Lin Xin's mouth was filled with disdain. From the beginning, he had never treated Yu Qinya as an opponent. When the others heard that, their scalps went numb. Lin Wuti defeated Yu Qinya with just one move. Was that not the end of the move? Indeed, it was not over yet. The sword of 100 battles could transform into 15 types of beasts. The move would only end when the beasts disappeared. Someone who had cultivated the same sword technique quickly explained. When the others heard this, they understood that the Icefield giant bear was still there. This meant that this move was not over yet. Could it be that Lin Wuti wanted to defeat one of the 8 great geniuses with just one move? You still want to defeat me? Dream on. Yu Qinya was furious. He waved his finger, and it was like a heavenly sword piercing towards Lin Wuti. The heaven-breaking finger was displayed once again. It was surrounded by terrifying laws and the power of heaven and earth. Shred, shred, shred. Lin Xian waved his sword and roared 3 times. Suddenly, the giant bear in front of him went berserk. Its body doubled in size, and the icy aura on it became even more terrifying. With a wave of the bear's paw, the heavens fell and the earth cracked. Streaks of spatial energy shot out one after another, filling the air. He roared, his eyes completely red as he attacked Uchenya. Uchenya's heaven-breaking finger directly hit the head of the ice-field giant bear, shattering its skull. However, this was not a real demonic beast. Instead, it was formed from a sword chi. Although it had lost its head, it was still capable of attacking. His bare paw slammed onto Uchenya's body, causing Uchenya to vomit blood. "Damn it, block it for me." Uchenya clenched his teeth and roared. However, in the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, he was unable to use some of his abilities and physique. He could only rely on the heaven-piercing finger to defend himself. However, before he could unleash the third heaven-piercing finger, his body was torn apart. Saintly blood gushed out madly, and he screamed in pain as he flew backwards. Miserable cries rang out, causing everyone's scalp to go numb. Everyone was stunned. Silence reigned between heaven and earth. What did they see? Uchenya was defeated. He had really lost. He was defeated by a single sword strike. Lin Wuti was too strong. A single sword strike, using the Dark Tablet superpower to defeat the Divine Tablet superpower. This was simply heaven-defying. At this moment, the 8 Sky Prides gasped. Those who were comprehending the Divine Tablet's superpower looked even more dignified. If they were to encounter this sword, would they be able to withstand it? What was going on with Lin Wuti? Some of the people who were comprehending the sword of 100 battles were horrified. What was going on? How could the sword technique they comprehended be so powerful? One had to know that they could not even unleash 1/10 of the power of the sword of 100 battles. But why was Lin Wuti able to unleash such a powerful attack? Could it be the difference in talent? Thinking of this, their faces were filled with despair. The 4 martial artists from Wushuang City were equally shocked. Their eyes shone with a strange light. As expected of Lin Wuti, as expected of the heaven-defying genius who had set the record for the first stage. He was probably the only person who could display the power of the sword of 100 battles to such an extent. Lin Wuti had won this battle, and Uchenya had lost. He had been eliminated and was now an honorary disciple. No, damn it, I did not lose. I still have the strength to stand. No, you can't do this to me. Uchenya screamed like a madman. He was eliminated and was now an honorary disciple? What a joke. He was one of the 8 Sky Prides. He was confident that he would win this round, but now he had failed. How could he face the others when he left? He wanted to struggle, but the people from Wushuang City waved their sleeves and formed an array to teleport Uchenya away. Those who had failed were not qualified to be there. Outside the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, Uchenya's figure appeared. His broken body had healed in an instant. Without the suppression of his cultivation base, he had completely recovered his cultivation base to that of a level 4 sage. With a roar, heaven and earth shook. I can't accept this. He really couldn't accept this. But what could he do? It was not his place to behave atrociously here. If he did not follow the rules, he was afraid that the people from Wushuang City would kill him instantly. Damn it, that kid will definitely be eliminated. Not only did he offend me, but he also offended Di-Ling. With Di-Ling's methods and thoughts, he would definitely eliminate him. Uchenya calmed down. He wanted to see that kid be eliminated with his own eyes. Only then could he vent the hatred in his heart. Inside the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, everyone was still in a state of great shock. They did not expect that one of the 8 Sky Prides would be eliminated in such a move. Lin Xian kept his sword of law and relaxed his shoulders. I said that he was not my opponent. I had already spared him twice. But this kid was courting death. You can't blame me. Everyone's mouth twitched. Who would have thought that you were telling the truth? They all thought that you were just pretending. Who would have thought that you were so powerful? For a moment, everyone looked at Lin Xian with strange looks in their eyes. Shi Bufan, Zi Tianqing, and the others' mouths twitched. To be honest, they had also planned to challenge Lin Wuti. But now, it seemed that they should forget about it. If they did not handle it well, they might be eliminated directly. That would be a huge loss of face. Yu Qinya was an idiot. He was not strong enough and could not comprehend it, but it did not mean that the divine steel's ability was not powerful. At this moment, Dealing spoke. He had also comprehended the divine steel's ability. Naturally, he had to protect the power of the divine steel. Yes, that's right. Yu Qinya had not comprehended the essence of the divine steel's ability. A few people agreed. Oh, so you have comprehended the essence of the divine steel's ability? Why don't you fight with me? Let me see how far you have comprehended it. Lin Xian stared at Dealing. This person had also provoked him time and time again. If there was a chance, he would not mind eliminating him. Chapter 36:59. Lin Xian stared at Dealing, ready to eliminate him. Everyone was excited. They did not expect that Lin Xian and Dealing would be the first to break out into a conflict. The two of them would fight. If they fought, then one of them would be eliminated. It was unbelievable. Even Wang Xiaofeng and the people from Stillwater Sky City were stunned. To be honest, if there was no special hatred between the 8 geniuses, they would avoid such an elimination round and strive to enter the next round. Then, they would compete for the rankings. But now, Dealing and Lin Xian were going to fight. I'm not afraid of you. I've wanted to eliminate you for a long time. Dealing also stood up. He was very unhappy that Lin Xian got first place in the first round. Now, Lin Xian dared to provoke him. This made him feel that Lin Xian was dead meat. Kid, you think you can be arrogant in front of me just because you defeated Yu Qinya? You're too naive. Yu Qinya, that trash, did not understand much of the essence. I'll tell you, I'm the most heaven-defying one. The divine steel superpower that I comprehended is definitely not something you can imagine. Don't be so full of yourself. Otherwise, when you're eliminated later, you'll only be slapped in the face. Lin Xian sneered. The others retreated, leaving only the two of them in the guts. At this moment, more than 10,000 people were completely excited. They were about to witness an earth-shattering battle. What kind of superpower did the two of them comprehend? Did Lin Wuti know how to use such a low-level superpower? No, Lin Wuti, other than the Sword of 100 Battles, also comprehended the divine steel superpower. However, the time he spent on it was very short. It was only slightly more than a month. Moreover, the divine steel superpower that he comprehended was the same as Ling's. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. Everyone was shocked. These two people had actually comprehended the same kind of divine ability. This was too unbelievable. However, the time difference between the two of them was twice as long. Was Lin Xian a match for Ling? Buzz. Ling stood there. A terrifying aura of heaven and earth appeared from his body. His eyes were like lightning, and the aura of the entire space froze. He formed a seal with his palms, and a law flew out from his fingertips. Then, he shouted, "Boom! Boom!" A large crack appeared in the sky, and then an illusory figure walked out of it. It was a headless warrior. He wore tattered armor and held a broken sword in his hand. His aura was unparalleled. Heavens, what is this thing? What kind of divine ability was this? Everyone went crazy. They didn't expect this. This was called the Spirit Summoning Incantation. It could be used to summon powerful heroic spirits from the void of the universe. Ling's cold voice was heard. The more profound one's cultivation was, the stronger the summoned spirit would be. Kid, let's see how you're going to compete with me. After he finished speaking, he shouted angrily. Another figure walked out. This was also a heroic spirit. He held a long saber in his hand, and his aura was unparalleled. The two heroic spirits circled around in the sky, carrying mountains of corpses and seas of blood. These two must have been incredible saints when they were alive. Even if he had been dead for so long, his heroic spirit could still be summoned. Brat, let's see how you can be compared to me. Ling's lips curled into a cold smile. He was very confident in himself. The people from Wushuang City frowned. They had to admit that Ling was very powerful. He could summon 2 heroic spirits in 3 months. How was Lin Wuti going to compete with him? Should he use the same spirit summoning incantation as Di-Ling, or the Sword of 100 Battles? Or should he use the psychic hand? Could he summon 2 heroic spirits? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Interesting. Looks like you're stronger than that trash, Yu Qinya. All right, I'll play with you. As he spoke, Lin Xian's fingers began to form a series of hand seals. In the next moment, his expression became serious. His eyes were like divine swords, rarely looking in all directions. He also knew the spirit summoning incantation. Crack, crack, crack. A large vortex appeared in the sky. Then, an illusory figure appeared. It was a warhorse. Everyone was shocked. The first thing to walk out of the vortex was a warhorse. It was tall and big, and it was obviously a powerful beast. There was a person sitting on the warhorse. It was a knight, a headless knight. He held a long spear in his hand, and his murderous aura was unparalleled. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. After waiting for a long time, they were shocked to find that there was only a headless knight riding a warhorse. Other than that, there was no one else. Could it be that Lin Wudi could only summon one? If that was the case, how could Lin Wudi be Di-Ling's opponent? Ha ha ha. Di-Ling laughed arrogantly. You've really disappointed me. I didn't expect you to only summon one. You dare to be arrogant in front of me with your strength? I advise you to kneel down obediently, kowtow, and admit your mistake. Di-Ling's eyes were filled with disdain. 2 against 1. There was no way he would lose. Lin Xian shook his head and sighed. You're really arrogant. Do you really think you're going to win? Some things can't be decided by numbers. Is that so? You've only comprehended for 1.5 months. Can you compare with me who has comprehended for 3 months? Today is the day you die. Di-Ling sneered. The 2 heroic spirits he summoned quickly charged over. On the other side, the headless knight was riding a war horse. He also charged quickly, the long spear in his hand piercing out. The void kept shattering, and the world kept rumbling. Everyone retreated. At the same time, they widened their eyes, not wanting to miss any details. Boom. 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 The 2 heroic spirits charged out, causing the war horse to neigh non-stop. However, the headless knight's figure was very tall and straight. The long spear in his hand was like lightning. With one strike, the world shattered. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it at all. The 4 warriors from Wushuang City were even more shocked. How was this possible? Their faces were full of shock. Di-Ling was even more shocked. Impossible. He screamed. He found that the 2 heroic spirits he summoned were pierced through by the other party's spear and nailed to the void. Boom. The long spear vibrated and directly tore the 2 heroic spirits apart. In the end, the 2 heroic spirits turned into spiritual energy and dissipated in the sky. Are the 2 heroic spirits very powerful? Do you really think that this matter can be won with numbers? I've said it before. You're no match for me. Lin Xian's cold voice sounded. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Was Lin Wudi already so powerful? He only used 1.5 months to comprehend, and the heroic spirits he summoned were more powerful than Di-Ling, who had comprehended in 3 months. It was really too incredible. Di-Ling's face was filled with madness. His face was contorted. Impossible. I don't believe it. How can your talent be stronger than mine? He had completely collapsed. What the hell was going on? Chapter 3660. Those were the 2 hero spirits that he had summoned. They were so powerful, but they were destroyed by the other party in one blow. It was unbelievable. Was the other party really more talented than him? 1 hero spirit could defeat 2 on his side. I don't believe it. Die. Di-Ling formed a seal again, wanting to summon his hero spirits. At the same time, he quickly charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered. With a wave of his hand, the headless horseman waved his spear and slashed at Di-Ling. This attack seemed to be able to split everything apart. Di-Ling was shocked and quickly retreated. As soon as he left, a spatial crack appeared where he was originally standing. It was a shocking sight. One had to admit that the headless horseman was too powerful. In the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, With his cultivation suppressed, the headless horseman could kill anything in his way. Sure enough, after that, the imperial mausoleum was hunted down. He didn't have time to form a seal because the headless horseman was too fast and too powerful. If he delayed for a moment, his body would probably be pierced through. Damn it! Ling roared as he ran. He had never been chased by anyone before. The surrounding people were completely stunned. Heavens, was this still Ling? Was this still the high and mighty leader of the 8 great prodigies? At this moment, the other party was in an extremely sorry state. He was like a stray dog that had been chased to the point of no return. Buzz. Finally, the headless horseman exploded. The warhorse under his feet roared and turned into a stream of light. The spear in his hand directly enveloped Ling. Damn it! Block it! Ling roared, but the spear still pierced through his body. Drip, drip. Fresh blood flowed down the spear and fell into the void. It was like a sudden clap of thunder that made people's hearts beat wildly. Ling was injured. He had been dodging so desperately, but he was still injured. It couldn't be helped. The headless horseman was too powerful. If they were outside, his cultivation wouldn't be suppressed, and he could use his mystique. Ling wouldn't be injured. But here, under these rules, Ling couldn't resist. He felt his entire body go numb. This spear had made him lose the ability to fight. His eyes were burning as he screamed at the sky. Damn it! Xian walked over and looked down at the other party. What? You're not convinced? We had a fair fight. What are you unhappy about? Indeed, everyone was silent. If Xian had used a saint artifact or some other trump card to win, then they might not have been convinced. But now, this was an absolutely fair environment. If he lost, then he lost. There was no excuse. Go to hell. Ling suddenly became furious. He waved his hand and a ray of light flew out. It was a chain of law. However, it was easily dodged by Xian. What? You still want to plot against me? He didn't know what was good for him. With a cold snort, the headless horseman's spear trembled and directly shattered Ling's body into pieces. Everyone swallowed their saliva. This was already a serious injury, right? Ling screamed. If it weren't for the fact that I can't kill you, you would have died 1,000 times over by now. How dare you sneak attack me? Xian stepped on Ling's head. The headless horseman's warhorse stepped on the dismembered body. Ling was so angry that he vomited blood. When had he ever been treated like this? This was humiliation. He was not convinced, but he really couldn't resist now. Damn brat, if we fought outside, you wouldn't be my opponent at all. Put away your pride. You're more than 1,000 years older than me. Of course, you have the advantage outside. Moreover, you can borrow other powers. For example, the mysterious coffin in your body that doesn't belong to you. These don't represent your own power. Do you understand? Also, do you really think that you can beat me outside? You have a trump card. Do you think I don't? So, don't be arrogant outside. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. As Xian spoke, he stomped down hard on Ling's head, causing it to creak. Ling was so angry that he couldn't speak. He could only vomit blood to express his anger. The people from Wushuang City walked out and said loudly, Lin Wudi won this battle. Ling lost and was eliminated. He was now a registered disciple. With a wave of his hand, the array teleported Ling's body out. Looking at the blood on the ground, everyone's scalp went numb. Mausoleum was defeated and eliminated. This was earth-shattering news, because they never thought that Ling would be defeated. One had to know that Ling was the favorite to win the championship. But now, this favorite to win the championship was eliminated in the second round. Outside the Copper Sparrow Terrace, Yu Qinya was alone there, waiting anxiously. He guessed that Ling would make a move at this time. Ling couldn't tolerate such a powerful person. Indeed, he felt a fluctuation in the void. Someone was being teleported out. It seemed that someone was eliminated again. It must be that brat. Yu Qinya revealed a sinister smile. He secretly used his power, preparing to show his strength to his opponent. It would be best if he could injure him. In the next moment, a light flashed. His raised hand froze in midair. The sinister smile on his face also froze. It was Ling. How could it be? His heart was about to explode. Damn it. Di Ling was out. Was he eliminated like him? At this moment, Yu Qinya's mind went blank. In his opinion, Di Ling was the strongest. No one could beat him. But now, Di Ling was eliminated by someone else. Who was it? Could it be that brat who did it? He couldn't believe it. As soon as Di Ling came out, he roared at the sky. The late-stage level 4 energy in his body instantly exploded. With a loud bang, Yu Qinya was directly sent flying, vomiting blood. Damn Lin Wudi. I will tear you to pieces. I won't rest until you die. Di Ling screamed crazily. The 9 heavens were cracking and the earth was trembling. At this moment, he was really angry. He couldn't wait to go back to the Copper Sparrow Terrace and tear his opponent to pieces. Yu Qinya stood up from afar, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth. His face was full of horror. Lin Wudi, it was really Lin Wudi who did it. Damn it. What trick did this guy use to eliminate Di Ling as well? How did you lose? He leaned forward and asked. Di Ling turned his head, his eyes emitting a cold light, almost sending Yu Qinya flying again. I didn't lose. It was that brat who was despicable. If we were outside, I could kill him with one hand. Di Ling's murderous aura was too cold. What *T fair fight? His strength was his strength. Where did the suppression of the laws come from? At this moment, he was extremely dissatisfied with Peerless City. In the Copper Sparrow Terrace, the people were still in a state of shock. Lin Xian had eliminated 2 of the 8 great prodigies in a row. This scene sent chills down everyone's spines. One could imagine what kind of storm it would cause if this news spread out. Just when everyone thought that Lin Xian was about to be suppressed, Lin Xian let out a long roar. Instead of retreating, he charged forward. His hands split open the sky and collided with the 9 Serenities sword art. What? Was he crazy? Did that kid want to die? He actually wanted to use his physique to fight against the 9 Serenities sword art? Damn it. Did he think that he was outside? If he was outside and his divine ability wasn't suppressed, then it might be possible to fight against the 9 Serenities sword art. But now, all of his divine abilities couldn't be used. Even his cultivation was suppressed to the 1st heaven. Would a 1st heaven sage dare to fight against such a sword art? They definitely wouldn't. But Lin Xian was different. So what if he was suppressed to the 1st heaven? His divine body of the 1st heaven wasn't something that these people could imagine. So with a long roar, he directly faced it head-on. With a boom, his fist and the 9 Serenities sword collided, making a clanging sound. The 9 Serenities sword art trembled from the impact, and Lin Xian kept retreating. What a terrifying sword art! He was shocked. However, he smiled, because his qi and blood were tumbling, but he wasn't injured. What? How was that possible? Everyone who saw this scene went crazy. In their opinion, Lin Xian would definitely be cut in half by the sword. But Lin Xian was actually unharmed. What kind of physique was that? Was that the physique of a 1st heaven sage? They wouldn't believe it even if they were beaten to death. Ghostly's face also became ugly again. Previously, when he saw the other party's reckless attack, he thought that the other party was an idiot. Who would have thought that the other party's physique was far beyond his imagination? So, after this attack, his arm was numb. Now, he hadn't recovered yet. On the other side, Lin Xian used the illusory spirit spell, and the headless warrior was once again summoned by him. Ghost Li's soul scattered. He didn't dare to fight against this knight, and could only look for an opportunity to attack Lin Xian. After dozens of moves, he was still swept in the back by the headless knight's spear. His whole body was directly blasted out, and he vomited large mouthfuls of blood. I admit defeat. Ghostly directly admitted defeat because he knew that if they continued to fight, it would be difficult for him to win. Perhaps his outcome would be the same as Di Ling, being beaten to pieces. If not for Di Ling's battle, he might have fought with his life on the line. But when he saw that even Di Ling wasn't the other party's match, he completely gave up. This person was too monstrous. Ghostly admitted defeat. and was directly eliminated and became an in-name disciple. The array flickered, and he was also teleported out. The surrounding people were completely stunned. Ghostly was in existence second only to Deling, and now Yi Luo was defeated. This Lin Wudi was really too strong. There was no good ending at all for opposing the other party. Lin Xian attacked 3 times in a row, knocking 3 out of the 8 geniuses out of the way. The other party still had 2 chances. Would the other party still attack? The other few of the 8 great prodigies were also facing a great enemy. They had no chance of winning at all against Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian had no intention of attacking again. He attacked 3 times because these 3 people provoked him one after another. Especially Yu Qinya and Deling, they both had killing intent towards him. He naturally wanted to eliminate such people. As for the others, he wasn't interested. In other words, these people were no longer a threat to him. Seeing that Lin Xian didn't attack, those experts, such as Stillwater Sky City Shi Bufan, and the others, breathed a sigh of relief. It was too terrifying. If the other party attacked, they would be in danger. Next, it was the others' turn. A few of the 8 great prodigies came over and discussed with Shen Jingqiu. They wouldn't fight each other, and they would enter the next round together. Shen Jingqiu had no enmity with these people, so she naturally agreed. Next, it was the battle between the others. Among them, Shen Jingqiu attacked. She faced an expert who was very powerful. He wasn't one of the 8 great prodigies, but he had also comprehended the divine steel's divine ability. Shen Jingqiu fought with him, and the crowd was also incomparably shocked. In the end, Shen Jingqiu defeated her opponent, and it shocked Stillwater Sky City, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others. When did Shen Jingqiu become so powerful? Her divine steel's divine ability was also so powerful. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.